You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Jake puts a charge into this one, and it's way back in Triple's alley.
Don't bounce out.
Stays in play. Here's Jake McCarthy. Will they send him? They're going to send him. He's coming to the plate. And an inside the park homer to start the game.
Piezon with a towering fly ball to center field. A souvenir to the seats to start.
2-2. Fly ball, left center. Cruz back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. He can't make the play. And it bounces back into center field. 1 run scores. Here comes Grisham. He'll score. Rice is at third with a 2-run triple. And his great first half continues as he gives the Yankees the lead.
And a high fly, shallow right. Racing in bench, coming on, slides. Trying to make the catch. He did not. And the run scores. The Red Sox have tied it up. High fly ball left field. This is well struck. That is back on its way. Out of here. Alex Bregman, 3-run homer. And the Cubs have opened up an 8-4 lead.
90 feet more. Bouncer up the middle. That'll do it. Here comes Langford. He'll score. Rangers win it.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. How are you?
We're good. What's wrong with our monitor?
Oh, we forgot to turn the TV on, Rico. That's on me. That's my bad. I plugged it in.
That's on me.
That's totally on me.
That's on me.
Shane, I just want to say thank you for including the Red Sox in there on their 9-game winning streak.
So
not just 9-game winning streak, 9-game road winning streak.
I told you about my Jonathan Papelbon experience, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I get to know Jonathan Papelbon's thoughts because we follow one another.
I'm a big Jonathan Papelbon guy.
Yeah.
Red Sox years only, not when he's punching Bryce Harper in the Nationals dugout.
Jonathan Papelbon seemed to be a guy that I don't know if I would have always have gotten along with. I kind of don't think so.
I probably wouldn't actually get along with him, but
Jonathan Papelbon wanted to know who these new Red Sox were. He does not recognize them. That was Jonathan Papelbon's thoughts.
They're just a half game out of the third place wild card spot.
Yeah, it's this run and the ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
He said, "Can somebody explain to me what has happened with the Red Sox? Because I sure can't figure it out."
I can't either, if we're being honest. It's I'm thrilled. I'm happy about it. It's a long season, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I bailed on it pretty early. I think that's a fair assessment. But it's just nice to have something exciting to watch during baseball season, especially World Cup's wrapping up, Wimbledon's over. Like, I need something to get me through the last 2 months before.
Did you mind my well wishes for the World Cup? Because I did wish you well for not the World Cup. I'm sorry,
for Wimbledon
tennis.
No, I appreciated that.
I felt like you'd have high anxiety.
I didn't really. I mean, I was I get kind of stressed out in the moment, but I knew Sinner's a bad matchup for him. I got excited because he won the first set. Second one's a tiebreaker too, so I'm like, it's okay. And then when he hyperextended the knee in the third, I was like, immediately he looked worse. And I was like, I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. He got the one major. Honestly, anything more than that's gravy.
Were you surprised? I was surprised in the pre-match because I didn't go to that's you.
Yep.
That's your people.
Yeah. No, that's me. That's my computer.
Oh, I'm talking about the building.
Yeah. That's my background screen.
The Taj Mahal?
Yeah. I've been there.
That's kind of funny.
It's representing the culture.
I don't know what I would use. Maybe a lion.
Have I ever told you about my lion in Africa story?
Oh no. No, you have not. Let's hear it.
So I went to a very evangelical Christian college.
Uh-huh.
You know, non-denominational, a lot of missionaries.
Are you
stuff
gonna
like this.
say anything remotely close to like Shaka?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
We had some missionaries that the school was helping to support come in and talk, and I think they taught for a semester as like guest lecturers, whatever.
Yeah.
And they had been missionaries in Africa, and they were telling this story at chapel one day. And listen, especially at the time, you know, like I'm open to people's faiths, and you know, I'm at a Christian college. Like this is a ministry training school. Like I'm open to certain things, right?
Yeah.
So this is not a hate on religion thing at all. But they're like, hey, we were in Africa, and we were trying to decide like if we should continue doing this or if we need to go in a different direction or whatever. And so they're like, we asked God for a sign, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's the thing people do. And they're like, but they asked specifically. They're like, show us a lion. And I was like, okay, I mean, you're in Africa, but okay, like that seems like that might be mistaken. Like there might just be lions in Africa, right? Like they're not in cities. Like these people are out in kind of the rural area. So I was like, seeing a lion in rural Africa doesn't feel like a sign from God. That feels like maybe you're just in rural Africa. That'd be like if I'm driving around in Omaha specifically, and I'm like, show me a black squirrel, and I was like, they're just kind of around, you know. And so they're like, so
I don't see them a ton, but
in my neighborhood, there's a lot of them. And
yeah, very, very, very tree infested area you live in.
And so I'm like, okay, so they're telling this story, and they're like, and so we go months and months and months, and we're like, God, show us a lion. God, show us a lion. And they don't see a lion. And I'm like, guys, that's the sign. You went months in rural Africa without seeing a lion. That is the sign.
Oh, boy.
And then like 6 months in, they're like, we finally saw a lion, so we did it. And I was like, you just did what you wanted to do.
You're just,
like, it's a lion in Africa.
Why can't you let them have their moment?
No, it's fine. It's just like, if you're just going to do what you want to do anyway, like, you don't got to bring God into it. It's fine.
So I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
By the way,
sorry, that's my lion in Africa story.
I don't see a ton of black squirrels.
They're in my, like, especially in my parents' old neighborhood, they were all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very common.
I mean, I've seen them before.
I think they're native to Council Bluffs.
Not quite.
I do. I think they are. I think they're native to Council Bluffs.
Is that in Wiki?
I might be mistaken, but I think that's correct.
Yeah. The Taj Mahal has weirded me out. So
I'm trying to get a screen up here, but I'm also trying to talk.
You want to do something about that, like you can.
You don't appreciate the architecture of India? It's one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Is it? Do you know? I don't. So I imagine the Sphinx is one of them, right? Or the pyramids.
So they kind of separate them into two. They have like 7 modern and 7 ancient. So like the Sphinx, the pyramids, the Gardens of Babylon are like the part of the 7 ancient wonders of the world. I think even though it's several hundred years old, the Taj Mahal is part of the 7 modern wonders of the world.
Yeah, that's one thing they would if that was the final Jeopardy question. Can you believe I would not get that right? I don't know.
Chucky Chuck says I'm right. They're from Council Bluffs. I don't know what Chucky Chuck knows about black squirrels, but
I do think Chuck spends a lot of time in the book of Isaiah. He is an encourager, maybe Hebrews. Chuck is very much a guy that.
What's he brewing? Sorry, that's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. I didn't think it was terrible.
It was not very good.
I mean, it wasn't like great.
I appreciate your encouragement too, Rico. Maybe you spent some time in those books. What's he brewing?
I have not.
Like pretty lowbrow.
I know. It was a dad joke. I understand.
So with the monitor, it's very bright. Do we have to? Can we fix the lighting thing, or is that just going to be?
That's just what the color it is.
We're working on a lot of different things at a lot of different times.
There's a lot of moving parts right now this morning.
Sorry, we're not moving at your pace.
What do you mean?
I tell you what. If I see a black squirrel before the day that the show is over, I'll go change the color myself.
Damon, I'm here to listen to what you have critical feedback for us, and I would like to help you where I can.
AJ, how come you rode your bike? Is this part of your getting ready for your wedding pictures?
That's exactly what it is. Yes.
Where were you coming from? How far did you ride?
I usually come from my home in the morning. I don't live on the streets. So it's like 3 miles.
Speaking what? Okay, thank you.
He lives on these streets.
Wow, you're just.
Austin lives where the black squirrels live.
That's a long ride from Council Bluffs. That's a long bike trip.
I always feel like it's 3-on-1, except for AJ is an equal opportunity offender.
Oh, he for sure is. It's at least 3-on-2 because Shane's on your team always.
Yeah, but Shane doesn't say anything.
No, but he speaks through drops.
I'll be Team DB this week if you want me to.
No, I'm still stuck on the whole black squirrel being from Council Bluffs.
They are.
thing.
I'm pretty sure they're native to Council Bluffs.
Hey,
they're a protected species in Council Bluffs, according to Chuck.
Hey, little Frankie Squirrel, where you from? From Council Bluffs, man.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
I don't.
animals are indigenous to certain areas.
Well, is there some mythical wall in Council Bluffs?
Yeah, it's called the Missouri River. You think squirrels can swim that?
We can go around to wonder how cars do it.
Well, now they can. I'm not saying like 10 years ago they were indigenous to Council Bluffs. I'm saying like originally. I don't think
They may be iconic, but they're not. It's not like.
I don't think squirrels are big swimmers.
Oh God. Oh,
It's fine. I was really talking about lions. The black squirrels were just an
I've
example.
never even seen squirrels hoop.
Who said that?
Heath. Heath. It's always Heath. Always Heath. It's fine. Did you enjoy your time at Piezon's?
I did. Yeah, I did. I was glad that we went. I have a little confession I have to make here. I was a little
this is my confession.
I was a little ashamed of myself.
Oh.
That's the first time I've been back since he passed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I get it.
Yeah. And it wasn't like conscious at first, but then like, because Natasha loves that place.
Mhm.
And so do I. But she like, yeah, there was just a few times she'd bring it up, and I was like, there was just, and I mean, I don't want to like get too emotional here, but there's just a part of me I was just like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna feel if I walk in there and he's not waiting for us, like, and you're a helper, so like I knew you'd go back because you love those guys, you want to help them, and you want to help his family and stuff. I mean, I walk in and you're behind the bar yesterday, right? Like that's what you do. Like you're a helper. That was never really my role there, so like I just sort of felt out of place, I guess. But I was like, it was a big deal yesterday. Like I wanted to make sure and went, and I'm glad I did. But like as I was leaving, I was a little ashamed of myself that I hadn't been back before that. Yeah, a little slap on the wrist, self-awareness. It's important.
I get it.
But no, it was a good time. I was really happy we went. I was happy to see so many. We were there like 3:00 in the afternoon. So not lunch, not dinner, whatever.
Yeah, it was deep.
And it was packed.
I had to really prepare.
Yeah, it was packed. So it was good to see everybody out there celebrating Verse and his birthday and everything. So I was.
No, TK, those are in the garage refrigerator. They're about ready. They're about ready. I know we've been on the whole black thing this morning, but that fruit has very little color.
I did.
It's ready to go.
Did have a seltzer while I was there yesterday.
Of course you did.
It was a Surfside. It was delicious.
Aren't those tea? Or they do make the lemon? They do. Make
I don't. They make different flavors, but yeah, it's a tea. It's an iced tea lemonade vodka.
Yeah. What is Natasha's go-to pizza?
So she gets the Dave with no sausage. She can't eat sausage. It's not like she doesn't want it.
I understand. Yeah. She basically is.
It's like there's the peppers on there.
Olives.
Yep. She likes vegetables. Like she likes stuff like vegetable stuff on her pizza, like olives, peppers, stuff like that.
Oh, if we were closer, I would eat her sausage.
Just to be like, hey, you put that on the sides. Well,
yeah. You're paying.
You did not just say that. I wanted to be Team DB this week. I really was. But you can't say I would eat her sausage at 7:15 on Monday.
She's a girl, so I figured it was cool.
Right.
That's I figured that's like it sounds
not.
It sounded funny coming out, but I was like, man, she's a woman. It's fine.
Yeah. Unless you're not telling me everything.
Nah. She's pretty straightforward.
What is?
It's pretty standard.
Do we need to start over?
Please, for me, can we?
Like, what's
Happy Monday.
I'm just saying.
This is the one time
You don't want it to go to waste.
Well, it's
But
not,
if I don't know somebody well enough, I don't want to eat off their plate.
it's not like they like make it. And like it's not like they put the sausage aside for that pizza and then throw it away. They just
To
don't.
my point, that's why I would say, like, we'd have to be close. I would say, hey, can I have your sausage?
Yeah, just put it on the
And
side.
she's like,
I don't know what he's on this morning. That one wasn't even
PCP, apparently.
That one wasn't even bad. That one wasn't even bad. It's not, you can't just laugh every time somebody says sausage. Like it can't be.
That's not just the word
like that.
It's not the word sausage. It's just everything. Honestly,
Rico,
if
it's how I would talk, though.
if we were closer, I would eat her sausage. The if I were closer part is really what makes it hilarious.
So
We're talking about pizza, guys. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But no, she does. She likes vegetables and stuff on her pizza.
So I eat lunch with Aaron quite a bit, right? Hey, Ron.
Yeah, at least like once a week.
I'll see him. Well, I took like a month off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was unintentional, just stuff.
Yeah.
But, so I remember one time he ordered something that I should have ordered.
Mhm.
It looked better than what I was eating.
I've been there.
And I was like, oh, man, that's what I should have got.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, would you like to try some? Pause. 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 I was like, maybe a few more dates in. But I think he knew I really wanted some.
Yeah.
So he spun the plate around and he kind of like flicked it to me.
Yeah.
And I felt like, how many times have I eaten off another man's plate?
I was trying to think that while you're telling the story, actually.
I was thinking about that as he made the proposition. And I do remember one time I was in Minnesota and I was eating with JL and we just wanted some appetizers early. So we like shared, but it wasn't his.
No, shared appetizer is different than his plate.
It wasn't his plate.
Yeah, shared appetizer is a different thing.
Yeah. And the more I think about it now, like picking the meat off of individuals, how romantical. Juan, you guys, like, you didn't get enough sleep this weekend.
I do feel like picking the meat off of an individual slices was doing a lot.
Well, she could have like done it with it. She could have done it.
Yeah, she just gets it without it all though. Like it doesn't,
I know, and it's probably easier, but it just seems like such a waste for if you're going to pay the same price.
Well, I mean, they were giving out pretty good deals yesterday, so I don't
unbelievable.
Yeah, I couldn't like when they gave me the total. I was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Is that right?" We ordered 2 pizzas. It was under $20.
Yeah, 52%.
I was like, "Hey, I don't. Are you sure? Like, can I give you more money, please?"
Apparently, our man Les though stole the show.
Oh yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me.
Everybody loves Mr. Vogler.
That Les is a good egg.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, I told you about the lady in the car, right?
Yeah.
Rico. So I had driven by a couple times, but I was struggling to get out because there were too many people.
There was a lot. It was packed.
And so I had to think about it. I had to brace myself. In between time, it was kind of funny because Sabir asked me what he was doing. I was like, oh, I'm just sitting in my car trying to get motivated. Like he didn't understand the context, right? But
yeah.
We're just talking over text. It was no big deal. And so I'm kind of on a knee and I was like, ooh, I need some strength. Like let's do this. And this lady gets out and she goes, "Sir, are you okay?" And I look up behind and she goes, "Oh, it's you. Never mind. Take all the time you need, dear." I was like, "Oh, that's kind. It's very nice of you." I didn't
get called out by strangers.
Yeah, I think she probably wondered what I was doing.
I get it.
Yeah.
Especially if I see somebody I don't know and they're like on a knee outside a restaurant, I might just be like, "Hey, you good?" Like,
yeah.
Maybe they like felt ill or something.
It was probably more a catcher squat.
still. Anytime you're like kind of
so
like,
that probably looked a little
like hunched over almost.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, hey, we cool here? Like
it's fine.
we didn't get our.
She said it's you. I was like, what?
What's that mean?
What does that mean? It's fine.
No, it was good. It was good to see her. It was good to see everybody out there.
Yeah.
It was a good crowd.
Did you see Nance?
I saw her walking around. I didn't talk to her.
She's tucked in the back.
Yeah.
A little bitty cutie pie.
Yeah.
It's good to see Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max he's playing in a summer league.
He's Wichita State.
Yeah, Wichita State.
It's a good program. It's a good program.
And
I know they're not what they used to be, but
I
it's
think
a good program.
Jabba's son is going to be at Wichita State too.
Oh, really?
Anyway.
It's weird to me to see because back when I was growing up and back definitely when you were growing up, Wichita State was like
they were elite.
Was the dudes. Like they were
elite.
That was as good of a baseball program as you were going to come across in the country.
Yeah, it seems like basketball, baseball, like it all left.
Yeah. I mean, they couldn't sustain after the whole Greg Marshall thing. Like that never. And
I almost felt Wichitonian. I mean, I was in Wichita like 3 or 4 times a year.
Well, yeah, actually had a bunch of AAU stuff, right?
Yeah, and it was. Yeah. I mean, it was always where nationals were, and the qualifier. Like, I don't know it like the back of my. I've spent of the Wichitas, the Kansas Cities, the Des Moines, the Minnesotas.
You spent the most time in Wichita.
Wichita's in the hunt for the most. It's for sure double digits.
Mine is Des Moines and Kansas City.
I mean, speaking of pizza, one of the best pizzas I ever had was in Wichita.
Really?
Yeah, it's called the. Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel.
See you, Daniel.
It's called the Lamborghini. One moment, please.
Yeah, no worry. You're good to go. Yeah, I've only been to Wichita a couple times. It wasn't like super memorable for me, but our mutual, we'll call him a mutual friend now.
Who, Thomas?
Connor Gillespie went to Wichita State.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to swing in there this week.
Sorry, Daniel, you just don't get to hang out this morning.
Apparently, I need regular heads.
Would you like the chicken?
No.
Okay.
Well, we're not doing free advertising, so we just have to like.
Yeah, that's just for our friends over at Omaha.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk to Adrian. I think next week.
That's a great get. I was pretty happy with Sasha on that.
Athletic director. It might be chancellor of athletic. I don't know. They change all these names around.
They're doing big things.
But they're doing a great job. So we're going to talk to Adrian Dowell.
It was ground lamb on the pizza.
Oh, in Wichita?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I actually shared it with Matt Milliken.
Connor's dad?
Yes, that's how long ago it was because
Connor could hoop.
Yeah, and this had to be middle school, 7th, 8th grade.
Oh, so that's a minute ago. Yeah,
yeah,
that's like early 2010s.
Yeah, because he's older than Caleb. Yeah,
yeah,
that's how long ago it was.
I remember because I briefly wanted to recruit Connor. And I was like, oh, he's much too good for where I coach.
Yeah, he's.
I saw him early, so you never know.
Well, it wasn't 10. His brother is older.
No, I said early 2010, so like probably like 12.
No, Connor graduated in. Was he 21? Maybe.
Was he that late?
Yeah. Yeah, because he played against Cal Jacobson. Remember, that was their only loss. I saw him play Ashland.
He's at Dort. Good for you. That's a good spot for you.
Both Millikens are at Dort.
Let's see what year you graduated. He's a junior, so that puts him at like 23.
Yeah.
Plus he's -4 is 19.
He's a year older than Caleb.
So like mid 2010s for middle school.
Yeah.
Like 16, 17-ish. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense if okay.
It's actually the last time I threw up in public.
Really?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Oh, walking across the street, maybe.
Gotcha. Right.
It's like, hang on, guys.
Just a little, maybe.
Yeah, it was a weird night. One of the guys that we were with was like, this to tell you how long ago it was. This guy by the name of Bob Francis.
Oh, I'm familiar with Bob.
Bob left a credit card. He's like, yeah, I'm going back to my room, you guys. It's me and Timo's, a couple dads. And it was no bueno.
Yeah. There you go. Well, especially if T-Mose is there, things are going to get sideways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Him and his electric lemonades.
I gotta text that dude. I haven't talked to him in a minute.
Oh, yeah. He's a funny dude. Who's the team today?
I'm sure
going Kansas.
What's that? Oh yeah, this is we got my blue. Let's call it. Yeah, I think I did BYU last week. So we have our Kansas.
They're not gonna be top 6 in that league.
BYU,
Kansas.
Oh yeah, I think they're in trouble.
There's no way, right?
We've got our Kansas Jayhawk Monster Energy drink brought to you by the Big 12.
There's no way.
I don't think so. I think that conference is too thick in the middle.
Too thick in the middle?
Yeah, like there's too many teams that are pretty evenly matched in the middle of the conference. And by middle, I mean everyone from like 1 through 9, basically.
Yeah.
Just if I'm guessing off the top of my head, I don't have my projections in front of me. That you're going to be in, like they're going to lose a bunch of games by like 6 to 10 points and end up being like, I don't know.
It's just
3 and 5 in conference.
It's a lot going on in that conference.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you have to start with probably Arizona.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think
how could you not?
What do you mean by start with Arizona?
I think they're 1. They're the best team in the conference.
I thought you were a Houston guy.
No, Houston will probably be, at first blush, I'll go with Houston maybe 3.
Okay.
BYU around 4, 5. Who would I put 2? Iowa State. I'm going to go Arizona, Iowa State, Whitney.
What are you doing with Texas Tech sans quarterback?
I'm talking about basketball.
We were talking on very different things than that.
I wondered why that would surprise you. Well, if I'm talking Kansas, I'm certainly not championing the football program.
I don't know. I thought we were on football. I was so confused.
I wonder why that was such a hot take, because you sounded like me. You go, really?
I thought we were talking football.
Nobody thought that we were talking basketball.
Yeah, I'm with Ravi. I thought it was football. I was very confused, but I was waiting for your reasoning. I'm sure you had one.
Didn't this dude start out by saying, I want to be Team DB? You could have at least pretended, Jimmy Neutron.
You made 3 sausage drops in 2 minutes.
He pulled
I can't help myself.
He was out.
It's going to be a long.
We'll try again at 8.
It's going to be a long week. I am still sticking to my hot take, though, that Texas Tech doesn't win the Big 12.
I would agree. For football, I agree. I don't think they're winning the Big 12. I think
even with that cheesy cake schedule.
Because you still think Houston wins the Big 12, right? For football, that's your hot take pick.
Yeah, it's a hot take.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the trendy team in that conference is Okie State.
I don't think they're going to win it. I think they're going to be a lot better than they've been, but I don't think they're going to.
Everybody's team messed a maker.
I am too. I think a huge season for them is 8-4. That's a huge season for them, in my opinion. But that doesn't win you the conference.
Thank you, Brother Waltz. Immediately, it went to basketball when I said Kansas.
For whatever reason, when we bring up the monster,
but he actually listens.
When we bring up the monster thing, I immediately think about football, just because we're like right before football season's when it got announced. So I was not on that page at all. I thought you had like some Lance Leipold hot takes. I don't know, man. I thought we were. I think BYU. I'm taking BYU to win the conference. What?
BYU?
Yeah.
How are they going to be better than Iowa State?
No, I'm
football?
football. Yeah, I'm still on football. When you said Iowa State, I was like, Jimmy Rogers, what are we doing?
Ooh. Wash your mouth out with the Jimmy Rogers.
Well, I don't know. We just don't know yet.
No, I know.
It's not slander. It's just it's brand new, right? He's got 80 new guys. I don't know what we're doing there yet. He doesn't know what they're doing there yet. He has no idea what that's going to look like.
I'm still stuck on if Natalia, a.k.a. Natasha, would let me eat the meat off her pizza.
She probably wouldn't get it on there just because she doesn't want to like cross-contaminate.
So how close would we have to be for her to order it for me just so I could put extra on mine?
She would probably order it on the side for you.
She didn't want to mess up her pizza?
Yeah, she's not messing up her pizza.
So we ain't that close.
I don't think she'd do that for me.
Hasn't somebody wanted like a bacon cheeseburger and they'd be like, oh, here, I don't like bacon. And I'd be like, oh, just order. I'll eat it.
Yeah, and I'll be like, hey, yeah, give me the bacon on the side. Once it's like on my thing that my food item that I'm eating, like it's a wrap.
Huh.
Good, bad, or indifferent. We're done here.
Okay.
If it's like in the ordering process and I'm like,
What if you get mushrooms on your steak and I have the steak and I was like, oh, can I try some of your mushrooms? And you fork them or you knife them off on my steak. Would you do that?
Sure. But I would never in a million years get mushrooms on my steak. There's just no circumstance in which that's okay. I understand the analogy,
Just
but
hypothetical.
I just wouldn't ever do that. Why? Who? God, that sounds terrible.
Mushrooms on a steak sounds terrible.
I don't like mushrooms.
Are
and
you crazy?
doing that to a steak is vile. Like, you know what I think of when I see mushrooms on a steak? That must be a terrible piece of meat.
Nah, Brother Waltz, you're right. Like, I don't want my cheese pull screwed up by having it stick to bacon and then then I gotta redistribute it. I'd probably just be like, no, you can't have it. It's already on the cheese.
Yeah, no, I'm if you're like, hey, like let's say it's a Western burger, right? I like the onion straws, I like the barbecue sauce, I like some of that kind of stuff, but maybe they throw bacon on there and I'm like, I don't love bacon on my burger. In that scenario, I'd be like,
are you playing with me?
This is just a scenario in which I can get
okay.
Because if I'm ordering a bacon cheeseburger but don't want the bacon, just order a cheeseburger.
Are you a bacon guy?
I like bacon. I think sometimes we do too much with bacon.
Shut up, AJ. Look at this dummy.
We do.
I mean, cooking with it. That's funny.
Ken says he's
That ain't me.
no shrooms on steaks. Yeah, the lower thirds are Ricky Ricardo over here.
Oh, you should have never. So he does. That's just him.
Lower
so all,
thirds are
all the okay.
Yeah. All the bottom.
That
thirds.
changes things dramatically with your comedic skills.
So
Rico.
Shout out radio.
You're pretty creative down there.
He does. Anything that shows up like on the screen, like the images, that's usually Austin. But the bottom of the screen, that's where Rico lives.
So the chef hats, the whole nine.
Yeah, that's him. That's
okay,
Hey,
cute.
there's one that's like hyper specific that I haven't been able to use since I made it, but I'm going to put it up right now for you guys. I think it's hilarious.
By the way, but it's at an all-time poor.
on the interstate.
It's poor.
Yeah, I haven't been taken that way.
It's so piss poor. It'll keep you at home.
I just take
And I firmly believe people they just cannot drive.
Yeah.
They just cannot drive.
Yeah, it's bad.
And I don't even care how slow or how fast you want to go.
Consistent. I need
Just
consistent.
abide by one rule.
What's that?
The left lane is for passing. That's not a DB thing. That's nationally. The left lane is for passing.
Yeah.
Get your ass out of the left lane and get over and let people pass. Like, it's not about you. The law says the left lane is for people get tickets for that.
They
in real
do, yeah.
states. And here's another little tidbit. If you're towing anything, i.e., bikes, a camper,
Don't be in the left lane.
a trailer,
Mm-hmm.
that lane's probably not for you.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
We're talking interstate highways, that type of thing.
yes.
Because I'll be honest, like somebody told me once, I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody was complaining about people being in the left lane on like city streets, and I was like, I don't think it applies there.
I wish.
It doesn't though, right? Like it's
I don't. I'm certainly not the expert there. I don't know. It seems like it should.
like I try not to sit there, but if I'm gonna go left, I'll be there early probably.
What if you're coming from downtown to Dodge Street exit?
Dodge I count as a highway, so like Dodge, you know,
Left lane for passing still?
yeah,
Okay.
because that's like a highway to me.
Yeah.
But like normal, like if I'm coming down 120th, I don't care if I'm in the left
I don't
lane
think
or
that
right.
should apply to the city.
I don't either. Like, but somebody told me that once, and I was like, I don't think that's true.
I don't. Certainly nobody drives like that,
No,
really.
No, like I've never heard that before, except for this one person was like, no, you're supposed to. I'm like, that's not a thing on city streets.
So who's supposed to be in the left lane exactly?
In the city?
yeah, anybody.
I
like,
think anybody.
yeah.
I think anybody.
left lane in cities just driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shane, when you go to Des Moines, do you drive?
Oh yeah,
So which lane do you spend the majority of your time in?
left lane.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Doing about what, 77?
You know why I'm in the left lane?
Why?
You got a fast car, and I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal.
Just
look-
unnecessary.
Looking for a reason.
Yeah, right.
People ask why I'm mean to him. I'm really glad that you got your sound bar to work today, Shane. Can I be honest with you? Okay.
Oh, here we go.
No. So he cut like in the morning, there's like when he's vaping, like 3 out of every 5 days, something has gone wrong, right? Is that a fair estimation?
Yeah.
So this morning he's like, hey, my laptop's not working. And so like to me, when somebody tells me a computer in there isn't working, I'm like, oh no, can we do the show today?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure with his specific laptop, it's just the drops and the intros. And I'm going to be honest, I don't care if those don't work.
I don't care.
Like, is it nice to have? Sure.
Oh,
That's a bonus. It's an accoutrement.
thanks a lot, Shane. This is the Ravi we get now.
Who said that?
Oh, he did kind of low-key set that up. I don't know why I thought that was funny. It wasn't even that, like, that was a total stray.
Yeah. Well, Astray, and he was like, we're just talking about driving. So it's like, I guess we're talking about cars now. Doesn't have nothing to do with the left lane. I bet Shane would piss you off on the highway.
Probably.
Yeah.
He
drive you
seems
crazy.
very much like
He'd
it.
drive you crazy. He's going like 3 over in the left lane. He's like, I'm going above the speed limit. And you'd be like, get the F out of my way.
Yeah,
No.
You got a fast car, and I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we
Tracy Chapman sounds great.
Oh, just doubling down on the tomfoolery.
I didn't know she was my people. I'll take her though. Tracy Chapman. It's Indian now. We're taking her, co-opting. You all right?
Yeah, I want to say something, but I don't think I can.
Do it.
Text it to me. I'll tell you if you can say it.
Say it.
I think I know where you're going, and
Yeah, isn't that frowned upon?
my indication is don't say it.
Right?
It's not great.
DB, this is Kenny. Say it.
Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
Almost instinctively, I said it, and I caught myself.
No, I thought I knew where you were going. It's not something that they're real excited about. It's better over here amongst those people as long as against my people. I can say those people. They're my people.
Okay, to hold demonstrative.
It's fine.
Okay.
Ravi, this is Kenny. Say it.
Ravi's
Kenny-
only seen Kenny about 4 or 5 times.
Although
we put Kenny away.
I will say, if you want to inherit anything from your parents, you better keep that thing under wraps till they're dead.
Wow. Is that serious?
If they're first generation, probably.
Tough crowd.
I'd keep that to yourself for the time being.
Todd's right. It's never a war crime the first time.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the motto Canada lives by. They do. Have you heard about like the World War II Canada stories? Those people are nuts.
Yeah.
People, I mean,
There's just a mass deal this past weekend.
man, Canadians are
But
like
it's like it's
if you don't know what I'm talking about, read up on some Canadian war crimes. It's bad.
No, I
know you know, but like I'm for the audience. Like
Yeah.
it's horrifying.
it's quite the melting pot.
Yeah.
Should do the racial draft.
He says the listener draft
Kobe still may go one.
is the racial draft, isn't it? No. We don't have enough diversity, I don't think, in our
We have 4 on this show: white, Indian, black, Hispanic.
no, I mean like in the audience. I get like on the show we have some.
No, it's not for the listeners. We're doing celebrities and other people.
Oh, okay. You're doing a celebrity racial draft?
Yeah,
What
but
could
just
go-
for us.
What could go wrong?
I see 0 problems with this. Tracy Chapman.
The Indian delegation will take Tracy Chapman.
You got a fast car.
It sounds just like her. I can't even tell a difference. It's a perfect cover.
That was
The Hispanic delegation selects Asian Wyatt.
was United Nations.
There's
I'm not gonna say anything.
It's very dicey. It's very dicey.
It's good.
We missed a lot of sports. Did anything sneak up? Which one snuck up on us more? The Major League Baseball draft or the fact that the All-Star game is coming up?
Okay, so definitely the draft for me, because this is a dumb reason. Every time I bring up Netflix, it gives me the giant home run derby graphic. So I knew we were close. I couldn't have told you what day it was, but I knew we were getting close. The draft, I just start seeing on my timeline, like Miles Bailey selected 75th overall. I was like, oh,
Kowalski,
okay.
and I was like, oh,
I guess the draft is today.
we got something we can tune into. Yeah, so like we're done with baseball for a while, right?
I mean, just besides regular season, yeah.
Huh.
Because wait, when do they don't take their break yet, do they? They've got a couple more days. Or no, I guess it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So I don't think we don't go again until Friday.
I think that's right. What a terrible time for the All-Star break for the Red Sox.
Oh, NBA Summer League it is, because that's been sensational.
How
come you guys didn't hop on my Art Kaluma deal?
We get Thursday, we get one game, and then Friday full slate.
How come you guys didn't hop in on my Arthur Kaluma? I know what you're going. You weren't in love, right?
Yeah. And I don't know that it's going to translate long term. Like I don't look at Art Kaluma as an NBA player. I just don't. Like I look at that guy and I go, I don't think he's athletic enough for what his skill set is. I don't think his skill set is good enough for what he is. You don't think he's going to
continually make threes from the logo?
No, I don't. I don't know that he's gonna. I just don't think he's gonna shoot at a high enough rate for what his size and athleticism.
Yeah,
and he's not a shot creator. He seems like he's gonna have a really nice career overseas or something at some point. Like I don't see him as an NBA player. Something would dramatically have to change in his game, and I don't think that's the case.
Did you watch Chucky play Hepburn?
No, I did not get a chance to see Chucky play. How'd he do?
He let him in assist. He didn't shoot it well. I think he's only about 1 of 5, maybe.
I saw our guy Tanji drop like 17 yesterday.
Yeah. Tanji's going to be one of those guys that makes you uncomfortable. That
he's going to have. I think he's actually got a shot,
and he's going to continually work on his game.
Like he'll be. I'm guessing this is the progression I see for Tanji is he's going to really impress people in summer league.
Mm-hmm.
But because of where he came from, he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt, so he won't get a roster spot immediately.
He does look like Naz Reid, Kobe.
But he'll get a G League spot. Like that's a guy that you're like, okay, we have to find a spot for him on our G League team, right? And then eventually you're going to have an injury or something like that. He's going to get converted to a two-way. He's going to end up on the roster for the max number of two-way games you get. And you're like, I don't think we can send this guy back down. And he's going to end up sticking in the NBA. That's what I would project for John Tanji.
TK, that's not my hot take, but I'm going to end up being right about Wagler. So
okay,
I'm fully prepared to take that victory lap.
I'm going to end up being right about Caleb Wilson. Fair.
We're going to be right about Caleb Wilson.
That's fair. I'm just saying
he's outstanding.
For quite a while, I was like, I would take him number 1.
Yeah, you did.
Like I understand why you take DeBonsa 1. I do.
But DeBonsa has showed me he's much more aggressive than I thought he would be.
It's true. So
he's got a great frame.
Incredible. Like you build that NBA player in a lab.
Yeah.
Like that's like 6'9", 220 as a 19-year-old. You're like, yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Right.
Big, strong shoulders.
Really good athlete. Like I like AJ DeBonsa a lot. I do. He was a little floaty for me sometimes during
for sure.
the regular. And we talked about this because I was like, my concern is Andrew Wiggins.
For sure.
Right. But the good version of Andrew Wiggins, if you get him to play hard and be, aggressive,
engaged,
like that's a really, really good basketball player. So I understood the AJ DeBonsa stuff. But I would have taken Caleb Wilson number 1 because I very much turned the corner on evals on one of the things I care about the most is just like how much I don't even know how to put it because it's a mix between like competitiveness, work ethic, and intensity. And like, I get they're all sort of related, but they're all kind of not. Like, some people are super competitive, but they're like, I don't know about their work ethic. You know, like they'll get into a game and they'll be super competitive, but I'm watching it play out in the like, I think Luka Doncic is very competitive. I don't know about his work ethic.
Well, I don't know if you separate those two. I think it's part of it.
I think they're very closely connected.
I think it's definitely part of it.
But I think I've seen guys that I think are very competitive in games that I just don't know about their
How
work ethic.
competitive am I if I don't want to work very hard?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I would separate those.
But whatever that is, that's the thing that I was like, yeah, Caleb Wilson is going to be better at that than everybody else.
Yeah. That's Aaron. This was the place.
Oh, I've never been there.
It's overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Is that here?
Yeah. Well, it's not overrated. I'm thinking of the other one that has that name in it. Has that state in it.
Oh, yeah. That one is overrated. Yeah.
Sus.
They just put one of those over by the house. We tried it a couple times. We're just like, eh.
Yeah, it's right by you.
We kept wanting it to be better than it was. It was fine.
You could do that at the house.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I'm not going to, but somebody could.
Is any other candidates you'd like to share with me? I mean, you almost fooled me with the whole.
Oh, I just mean like other people outside of either my wife can or like other people in their own homes could. I'm personally not going to.
Yeah.
No, for the hype that it came in with, I was like, I was kind of expecting it to
How
be better.
can questioning Luka's work ethic be crazy? The league, the experts, the people that follow
the people that knew him the best, like
question his work ethic.
The questions about his work ethic were legitimate enough that like you convinced your owner to trade him, that it was okay to trade him.
Yeah, you tried to shame him by not letting him have his own chef.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's questioned the work ethic.
Also, like I'm just gonna put this out there. Unless you have some kind of medical condition that we don't know about, pretty hard to look like that in the NBA if you have a great work ethic. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, it's pretty hard. He plays a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of calories being burnt there. And this isn't like and I used to hate Melo for it, but it's not like Melo was in good shape. He just wasn't like cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Luka's like Luka looks like he's playing in a men's league.
Yeah.
Like Luka looks like he's playing.
I have to cheer my brains out for Luka because
he's all you got left.
I think we'll be fine offensively.
It's like that and the creamsicles over there. You got them. You're good to go.
It's not even necessary.
The Snow Time Lakers.
We'll be fine.
I like that you drafted Ravi Avila too.
Do you like him in Summer League?
He's kind of fun. I kind of like him in general.
He's extremely fun.
I like him in general. I liked him at St. Louis. Like, I liked him at Indiana State. Like, I like him. The nicknames are elite though. Like, they're.
You know how hard the NBA
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar playing for the Lakers is perfect.
Yeah, it's terrific. I heard there's a bunch of them.
You ever see the Summer League team score 43 points?
No.
Yeah, that was the Knicks.
It's tough to do.
They couldn't care less.
It's tough.
They're like,
they don't care. But Tyler Nichols got a flamethrower.
He was your leading scorer on a night where your team scored 43 points. Tyler Nichols led them in scoring.
That man was 7 for 10 from 3 off the bench.
Vanderbilt, baby.
43 points.
Wait, what did he go off the bench?
7 for 10 from 3. He was
He
only
had
taking
half their
threes.
points.
He scored.
I think that was the first game. The second game.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he
I
had
was
like
like,
12.
there's no way he scored 21 in the game. They scored 43.
And I get it. It's Summer League, but I watch it.
I intermittently watch it. Like, I'll tune in for 15 minutes here or there, and I'll switch to something else. Like, I'll intermittently watch it if there's a matchup I like going on.
Yeah, I have to dial in because I have like 3 to 4 shows that I'm like 3 episodes in a piece.
Yeah.
I need to finish Cross. I need to finish Paradise.
Yeah, you do.
Listen, I'm happy I can't. That's twice in 2 seasons. I got off of Paradise because I wasn't gonna make it, and then I came back to it, and it's pretty good.
I haven't been into Paradise at all.
I'm a big Sterling K. Brown guy.
I am too.
I
like Sterling. I like Sterling K. Brown.
And his last name is Brown Rico, not like the first name.
I don't have a problem with it.
So if his name was like Coco Brown, you'd be like, I'm out.
What if his name was Coco K. Sterling?
Exact same person, but his name is Coco K. Sterling.
I would wonder what his government was.
It's Covelli.
Charles.
That's what I was gonna say.
But he goes by Coco because Charles is dumb.
What else? So this might be the week.
Yeah, you're gonna run out of time if you don't do it soon.
This might be the week to
you've
just
got
like
only a couple World Cup games left. You got a little All-Star break. This is the last window you're gonna get to binge some TV. I think.
UFC isn't good enough. So Corey, I did start a couple of series of the Dutton Ranch too, and it just is like it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all I read a couple articles on Sheridan though about how he wanted to corner the market.
Sure, yeah. I get it, but it's a lot of similar stuff.
Yeah, he's that guy. Is it Rip? Rip's I like him as a character.
Cole Hauser, I believe, is the actor there.
I like him as a character.
You know what's funny though is like I give Taylor Sheridan and like listen, if people keep buying your shows, keep making them, man, like make your money. I don't have a problem. Whatever. I'd like cool. But we act like half of the shows on like CBS aren't like CSI City or FBI or CIA. Like they're all the same show.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not the only one. Like I get it.
I haven't, Chuck. That's one of those.
I wasn't a huge fan. I think I'm the only person I know that didn't like that show.
So this is really shallow, but I'm just being honest. The way people talked about it and who was talking about it, I was like, yeah, that's not my speed, probably. Like if it came from other, you know what I mean?
It's a very pretentious show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the people that like
that's a good word.
Are pretty pretentious about it.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
So I was like,
because I got a lot of that.
I don't know if we could have coffee together.
I got a lot of that as one of the few people that doesn't like the show. And I watched the whole thing, watched every episode, did not like it. And
you are tough though.
I am, but I get the very talked down to. It's like, oh, well, it's supposed to be like this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I feel like you're trying to talk yourself into a triple hazy IPA right now. Like it doesn't taste good, man. It's fine. Like it doesn't taste good. At the end of the day, your beer is supposed to taste good. If it doesn't taste good, what are we doing? I get that they may have accomplished what you're going for. That doesn't mean it tastes good.
Just order with some bacon.
I've seen them all, Skelly. Channel 3. I've seen Tom Cruise Reachers.
You love that, the Amazon one. You love that show,
dude. That's that, and there's very few things I've binged like Reacher.
Yeah, you went through that one pretty quick,
as fast as the episodes came out, and then for the third season, once I could, like watch it a different way.
Yeah,
just was one nighter. Bang bang.
You ever watch Quantico?
No,
that's like the same as those like procedurals.
But I have. So where was I traveling? Oh, it's football somewhere. I got started. That was one, but I ended up going with Hunting Party, and that was like milk. That was a bad choice. I did not finish Hunting Party.
Good pull.
I was like 5 in. I was like, oh, I kind of like the premise, but then they were never good. But I liked her as the lead character. I smashed Landman too.
You didn't love the second season though, right?
No, because his ex-wife and daughter drove me up the goddamn wall.
You watched Designated Survivor?
No, but I have. So I have
that.
watched. The Survivors is one I'm like 2 episodes in on.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Netflix. I Will Find You, or They Will Find You.
Are you a Homeland guy?
No.
Okay. Somebody was asking about Homeland. Yes, Alex, I have seen Cocaine Bear. Yes.
I've not.
That's a movie though, not a show. That's
Wait,
okay.
Paradise took a. So okay, I'm not crazy because he got me back on it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's like, no, you got to hang in there. It's this, and this. And I was like, oh, okay. I almost turned it off because I couldn't. None of the characters matched. He's like, you got to give it a couple of episodes in. It'll all make sense. So I came back to it. And now I'm like stuck on 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah.
What's just happened in the episode you watched?
He thinks he's pinpointed the location of his wife, of his family.
Okay, he's out of the bunker. You're in season 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, keep going.
Okay.
There's like a point where it gets kind of weird, but it's good.
What episode is that, do you think, roughly? Because that might be.
You've already been introduced to the pregnant lady.
Yeah.
Is
she a bad guy?
No.
She's weird.
Like after he meets up with her, I think it's like the episode after that, it gets a little weird, but then it'll catch back up.
Yeah, Paradise, KJ. Yeah, Landman. I was super disappointed.
Yeah, because you loved the first season.
Yeah, and I wondered where they were going once the CEO died.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of clips on TikTok, so I have a general idea.
And I never liked his wife. It was okay. I thought one was sensational. It was.
Kel Jam says, I don't know what Rico's talking about. The season ended weird as F.
the massive twist that they have.
So you're on an island because Dixie and KJ are on the same team here.
Yeah, no, they're right. It does get weird. The twist that they put in there seems completely unnecessary and very strange, but I still think that it's good. I don't know where they're at the ending. I don't know where season 3 is going to go.
I did screw
but
Wyatt.
It's pretty good.
The first season of Fortitude was fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of like new TV lately. I just haven't. Nothing's really.
Rico, did you ever watch His and Hers?
No.
Jimmy Neutron. He's been quiet. I should let his sleeping bear lie. Must be break time.
Shane says we got to go. We got Sam McKEWON coming up.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, Sam is back, and very special day today. It's Phil Steele Day here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Can't wait to talk about Michigan.
Got mine at Barnes & Noble. It's a yearly tradition for me. I like to hop on over to 144th over by Oakview and get my Phil Steele magazine.
Mine's on the corner of my kitchen counter. I wish Zoe could drive.
So we'll talk. I'm surprised she can't yet, honestly.
I know, right?
Every time I see her, it seems like she's aged like 3 years. And I don't see her that infrequently. I was like, are you 14 now? What's happening?
Exactly.
Like yesterday, I was like, who are you? You're like a miniature adult. What's happening here?
Hoskinson was like 8.
I was like, last time you're here, I was like, I saw you like 2 weeks ago. What's happening?
I didn't even know when they got there. I was like,
we walked in the exact same time.
I'm working and she comes around the corner and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, why are you here?
We walked in the exact same time. Like we parked and we saw each other across the parking lot.
6-footer.
We'll talk to Sam McKEWON coming up next.
Is good.
Phil Steele is at 8:30. And then we will talk to Mitch Sherman at 9. That's the lineup for today. We got it in before the first hour is over. 7:59, baby. We'll talk to Sam coming up next. Everyone's talking about peptides. You are doing it right. At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, peptide treatments are clinician guided, tailored to your goals, monitored for safety. Call today or visit nextgenmmc.com.
the journey of Nebraska volleyball kind of as a whole from, before you were playing, when you were playing, and now filling up a football stadium, going to play in a baseball stadium. Is this some of the things that you saw maybe coming for the sport of volleyball at all?
I think I always believed that we had a place and had a seat at the table for most things, and I think now people are understanding how beautiful of a sport it is and seeing women really being elegant and also powerful all at the same time, and it's a really fun sport to watch. So the fact that people are paying attention now and putting it in a place where it should be, it's great. But I never would have fathomed, and the fact that I get to now watch it and be a participant is really, really cool.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, how are we doing this morning?
Great. How are you guys?
Hanging in there, bud. How was as I just tore my own headsets off? How was vacation?
Oh, it's fun, isn't it? It was great. Yep. I needed the recharge, and like I love to work, but sometimes you need to take a break from all that and do all the other stuff. So it was great. Did you get a vacation?
No.
Well, we took a break.
We did.
I took a break from the show. You didn't go on vacation.
I didn't go on vacation just because we had one more week of team camp. I haven't been on what I would call like a vacation in probably it's double-digit years. Like, I don't remember the last time I just traveled someplace for like fun. It's either basketball or football or like that kind of trip, but never a vacation.
Sports. It's a full-time job. And practice, day one of practice is August 10th, something like that?
Yes.
So it's not far away. It's really close, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
We're under a month. Let me ask you something. Did you just totally unplug, or were you like a World Cup guy? Did you like Wimbledon? Did you totally unplug?
I am watching the World Cup because my son loves it. He's 13, and
that's
so
awesome.
you know, I'm invested in it through his eyes. His favorite player is Ronaldo. They're out, Portugal, that is, and so he's glommed on to France, and so now it's the French team. We watched we watched Team USA. We watched the U.S. men's team lose, and now we're on to France, and so yeah. It's interesting because like he knows the club teams too, and the club teams are a big deal, and so it's an interesting sport to watch, especially in America with those crowds. I've enjoyed it. I don't necessarily know the sport inside and out, but I've enjoyed it, and he does know it inside and out, so he just kind of tells me what's going on.
Does he like VAR?
I don't know. That's a great question. Yeah.
Because he is, for his age, he's probably as close to what you'd call a purist, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's I don't know that. I think his lens of like replays and stuff, or he didn't like it when it benefited Argentina because he doesn't like Argentina because his friends like Messi and he likes Ronaldo. So it's like that. It isn't like VAR is good when it suits my wishes. Like he doesn't. So he likes it or he doesn't like it based on who it benefits.
Do you
not really? No, not really. No, I not a big fan of it. But I it is what it is, and it's what we've chosen. It's what we've chosen sports to be, and for whatever reason,
I get it right. What do you mean, like
getting it right? Yeah,
we don't though. That's the problem. Is we still don't get it right.
Right. I mean, people make mistakes. Obviously, the red card against. Yeah. So
Balogun.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, I don't love replay in general. It's not my favorite thing. There are certainly moments. Nah, it's not. I'd rather just go with the human element and just be good with that. But camera technology is such at this point that it's very hard for people to sit with mistakes and error. So whether it's a strike zone or whether it's for whatever reason, I was watching 92 Nebraska-Washington game. This is a game that Damon will remember well.
Yeah.
Out in Seattle. And Washington scored a touchdown that obviously would never have counted today. It was a guy caught the ball in the end zone, and he literally trapped the ball on the turf, and they called it a touchdown, and it wasn't. And those moments like that, you're like, yeah, that'd probably be good to have replay in that circumstance. But there's a lot of circumstances where I feel like probably the one that bothers me the most is in basketball when someone forces a ball out of bounds.
Yep.
But the ball leaves the fingertip of the guy who was originally holding it a split second after the guy who knocked it out of bounds. The force motion probably should be credited with being out of bounds, but we instead credit, the last centimeter touch. So like there's lots of things that I don't love. I really think it hurts basketball. Basketball is the sport where the flow has been destroyed, and I'm not sure how they get it back. Soccer, I don't know. It doesn't feel like that in soccer quite as much for whatever reason, even though they're taking plenty of time to do things. It doesn't feel like that as much. It feels like soccer moves along, and maybe it's the running clock. I don't know. Like I find soccer enjoyable to watch in the sense that it's over, after 2 hours roughly. There's, like the goals are usually pretty incredible. And like football, you often can see things happening before they happen. So like rarely is a goal, like it might be cool and it might be a shock in that way, but you see them set it up. And I like that. I like the idea that you feel like you're watching a continuous event and not just a split second reaction. And I love tennis. I like tennis a hell of a lot more than soccer. But in tennis, you don't know what's going to happen the next second. You just don't know because that's tennis.
Sam, talking about the replay part of this whole thing, like I think we basically end up in two camps in terms of getting it right all the time, which is what I think basketball tries to do, and most of the time it does. I agree with you kind of on the out of balancing and things like that, but it does disrupt the flow of the game. And in soccer, where it doesn't really disrupt the flow of the game that much, but they don't get it right a bunch. Like there is a like,
but
so
you're a get it right guy. Like you like replay
in general, yes. But if you're not going to get it right anyway, get rid of it. Like soccer doesn't get it right anyway, right? A ball hits the wire, it leads to an England goal, and the ball sensor can't pick that up, but it can tell when it touches the hair of a Croatian.
100 yards earlier.
Or the same ball sensor can pick up the hair of a Croatian, but it can't pick up a wire when it hits the
I get it.
The thing. Or you go back 30 seconds and you can go take away a goal because of something that happened on the other end of the field. Like that, like soccer doesn't even get it right.
So you got to think, you guys, are we in agreement? Well, I'll add wrestling. So it's tennis and hockey that probably do it the best.
Tennis is perfect. I mean, like, I'm not trying to, like, I like tennis, but tennis is perfect because, like,
wrestling
is no
wrestling's
question.
pretty good. And I think hockey's, for what it is, I think it's outstanding. I don't know how much hockey you watch, Sam, but hockey replay is pretty good.
Yeah, tennis is the best and hockey's good. Like
tennis is quick too.
Tennis is almost infallible. Like it's instantaneous. The call's always right. Like there's almost nothing. And I get the rules of the game allow for it. Like there's almost nothing left to interpretation.
Yeah, but you also think we should be able to spot a ball too in football, and we can't do that.
Exactly. Like you should be able to spot a ball in football. Like we're using ball sensors in FIFA, so like I know it's possible, right? Like
I think that'll happen eventually. I think one of the challenges with the spotting of the ball, it should not be an issue in the NFL. They should be able to do it. And
it's crazy.
Like in college, it's hard. I don't want, it's like the shot clock issue in high school sports. Like you got to install the sensors everywhere and get the lasers at every FBS stadium. And, you can't have, you can't have a Sun Belt game that doesn't have that technology and a Big Ten game that does. That just doesn't feel proper. So I think they got to get to that point in there, but the NFL should have the ball spotting technology. Sure. Because, the NFL is only 30 stadiums plus all the places that go overseas. Yeah. I think what I think has been really great about soccer is that it's been exposed, I think, to a lot more Americans, even than I was, how old was I? I was 16 when, in 94, when the United States beat Colombia, and in the Rose Bowl and, advanced to whatever round it was, round of 16 back then. And I remember it. I mean, I don't remember a hell of a lot of the soccer teams in between there. But I do remember 94, and I remember the U.S. women's team in either 99 or 2000. I can't remember when it was, winning in the Rose Bowl. And so like, there's these moments where if you can take advantage of them, you can change the trajectory of a sport. You speaking of tennis, tennis changed the trajectory of its sport with Serena and Venus Williams. Mm-hmm. If you look at the American men's side today, you see I'm not trying to knock Pete Sampras at all here, but Pete wasn't the revolutionary or, this incredible, role model that Serena is, and Venus, both of them both. And so you see the difference, on the American women's side, you have a whole generation of players. They're not winning every major, but they're in the semis. And on the men's side, you're hoping that one guy gets to the semis. But the reality is, they haven't. I don't think an American's won a major since Roddick and whatever year that was. It was a long time ago.
2003.
Well, yeah. Sinners, Zverev, and Alcaraz have. Yeah, they kind of shot the last 10, right?
Yes. Zverev was the first one that hadn't outside. And I mean, if you include Djokovic, it's like the last 16 or something. Yeah. Like it's 3 or 4 guys that win all of them.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to knock, since Federer left that sport, and Federer and Nadal kind of left at the same time, but since Federer left, it has been harder, more challenging. Alcaraz has certainly a distinct style, and I like him, but it's been harder in that sport to find somebody you could really, get behind when Federer and Nadal left. Djokovic is maybe the best player of all time. I don't think he's the greatest, but but a hard guy to like, and in some ways, and Sinner certainly has his challenges too. So, you just see how it happens. So what you hope is that the United States understands the moment it's in and seizes that moment and really changes the trajectory of soccer. It did not happen, not really. After 94, we can say that it did, and certainly my kid and all of his friends love soccer. But they talk a lot more about club soccer than they do USA soccer. None of them talk about the MLS.
Really?
No. They talk about Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG. They don't really like the EPL that much. Those are the three teams they talk about the most. Those three, because those are the three best teams in club, or three of the best teams in club. Bayern Munich, and then they'll talk. Somebody will say something about Man City. If you like Arsenal, you're a faker or something. I don't. And my son's 13, so they've got to find a way to translate that on the United States side, beyond just Messi playing in Miami. I don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, the way that the World Cup turned out for Team USA, it was thrilling for 2 or 3 weeks, and then of course you had the loss on last Monday. So I don't know what exactly they're going to do. I know my son's captivated by it, but he's going to be captivated by the club. He plays the video game, and it's FIFA, but it's like the FIFA club game. So you're playing club is his thing. He loves the clubs, and he knows all the guys on the clubs, and he talks about the Ballon d'Or and all that stuff. And so that's not really the World Cup. And so Team USC's got to figure out a way to get kids in America excited about American soccer and about the MLS and maybe even about college soccer too.
Sam, do you talk about what ails? I mean, do you think in the States, let's say your son was really good and he's
which that, God bless him, he's not. He likes to play, but he's not going to be, in college.
But hypothetically, right? Because this is, I think, interesting when it comes to training and clubs and a way out and kind of a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Would the degree of how talented he was dictate how much of his schooling you would be willing to sacrifice to be great?
I think context matters. So the context here is that it's a world sport, and if you want to be great, you have to be commensurate's the wrong word, but you have to be competitive with the rest of the world. And the way that the world goes at this thing is the kids are in academies and clubs from the time they're very young. And what we're seeing in a smaller scale on the basketball side is precisely that, is that other countries are developing basketball players in a way that emphasizes skill and development and team play, I suppose, how to get better. And the American system emphasizes winning. And to be clear, the NBA championship was just won by, a guy from Philly and, a bunch of Villanova players. It was won by American dudes. And so not that was a subplot of the NBA finals. It wasn't. Jalen Brunson, American, against, Wembanyama, from another country. That wasn't the story of the NBA finals, but it is, you can look at the MVPs in recent years and you do see a trend. So, I think on a smaller scale, that's true in basketball, where the goal is to get to the NBA, but that goal goes through college, and that goal goes through playing for some AAU or some academy in high school. Sometimes you play for your high school. And I think there are some people who would argue that doesn't necessarily produce the best individual basketball player. I'm not sure that's true, but I think people would argue it. I think it's absolutely true in soccer. So the collegiate system in soccer is not necessarily going to get, the best player, the best 16-year-old to where the best 19-year-olds are around the world. I'm not trying to knock collegiate soccer. It's a great thing. But I think that's been proven. So you got to make that choice at some point, and it's not an easy choice to make. And And America's going to have to figure it out if it wants to be competitive on that stage. You don't have to be competitive on that stage. You can just choose to be great in like 19 other sports.
That's something to that.
Sam, do you think the development
Definitely
system that is required, it's not like do you think it's uniform across sports, or do you think, hey, because we care about basketball in this way, it can look a little different versus we care about football in this way, so it can look a little different, but because we care, it does look like this? Well, right, but I mean, at this point, I'm talking about like trying to like catch up development versus, hey, these things are sort of already established. Like, or do you think like, hey, if we actually went to this model, it would be better for every sport, but it is most glaring in the sports where we're not as successful yet?
I'll be like really whatever you want to call it, and just say like define better, because, and I know Draymond Green says a lot of things, half of which are just ridiculous. But about a month ago, he went on his podcast and he talked about trainers, and like using development trainers. And obviously that's something that a lot of basketball players do, but he lamented the loss of just the ability to go play basketball and just go down to whatever court it was and just play. And here's the thing about basketball. This is my opinion, of course. Basketball is not just a sport. It is an art, and it is a very specific American art that was changed in the cities. And so like, if you take that out, if you take the essence of what makes basketball great, the things that we love about it, the artistry of it, the point guard play, the way that things are done, and you just remove that and you say, well, everybody has to be, at this spot on the floor shooting this shot because it's this and this and this, then I think you actually remove something that's essential to the sport of basketball, like in my opinion. And so, like everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it might be why sometimes we don't like the way some offenses look, because it's predicated on analytics and where you get
your shots from.
Correct.
Yeah, you get your shots from. So that's why you see so much 5 out or 4 out, 1 in. Like,
right.
It's just very different because of what the data shows. So that's how we now play the game.
And to your point, right, I think it's also very different based on like, if you say, hey, these guys play a ton of basketball together versus, hey, these guys spend a lot of time working individually in skill development sessions. Like the game looks a lot more like 5 guys who have spent a lot of time in skill development.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's left brain versus right brain. So left brain is where the sport's going. Right brain is where the sport's soul lives. And you could say this about a lot of different things. Like, it's just the way that I would put it is, if you go watch a game, like if you go watch an AU game, there's a lot of people that will lament, the one-on-ones or the showboating and all those things. I'm like, well, okay, but you want to talk about the soul of the game. What keeps the game the game? What keeps the game the game? What keeps soccer in so many other countries? What keeps soccer in so many other countries isn't the passing, it's the dribbling. Like, it's the artistry with your feet. And in basketball, what keeps the soul of the game is the way that you move around the court. And it is some of that stuff. It is some of it. Like, it's not all of it, but like, you can't have a league that's just totally Tim Duncan. You have to have, I follow 2 teams. Golden State's one of them. Portland's the other. And Ja Morant is now the best player on the team, since Dame Lillard is not the best player anymore. I have to reckon with the reality that I don't really enjoy Ja Morant's game that much, and he doesn't win a lot, but he does have the soul of the game inside his style. And so like, there's something about the fact that like, it's still an entertainment thing. And like, you want to go to the arena and you want to watch Ja Morant play because he's going to do something. And so like, basketball isn't of itself like, it's not math. It's a combination of math and art. And so is all sports. So like, it's tricky for me. Like, I can sit there and say, well, what is better? Well, yes. Like, Fred Hoiberg is the best example I can find. Fred has done an incredible job of maximizing Nebraska's ability to win basketball games. And that is precisely what Nebraska needs at this moment. It is. Like, he's going to get a statue probably one day because of that. That's part of what he's done. You watch his teams and they do it just the right way. I really appreciate a pick and pop big. I got to be honest with you though, that like the two players that I liked most from the Hoiberg era were Casey, because he was a showman, and Derek Walker, because he could throw his shoulder into guys. He was a traditional
great passer.
Yeah, he was a great passer. But that wasn't verboten back in the 70s either. You could pass back then too if you were a big man. And so like neither one of those guys are what I guess Casey fits into the template, but like neither one of them are Price Sanford in their level of efficiency and execution. And I think Price is terrific. He's one of the best of all time in Nebraska. But, you have this balance of like the guys that you learn to appreciate sometimes are the guys that got a little bit of, and if you talk to people that have watched Nebraska basketball a long time, you'll hear the same things. Like, people liked Derek Chandler. Now, Derek Chandler probably never hit a three, but could he rebound? And was he a traditional big man? And yes, he was all those things. And so like, you think about the guys over the years that I liked Cookie Miller, and Cookie Miller was, you like players with flair. And so that's true of like American basketball should never lose that element, even at the expense of winning a game or two. I would never want to see American basketball turn into, like a math exam. And I do believe that European basketball isn't entirely that, but it's much more that. It's much more didactic, and I think there's a lot of people that want to move in that direction. The Celtics obviously got rid of Jaylen Brown, one of my favorite players in the NBA, because of some analytics that they have that tell them that Jaylen Brown isn't worth it. Well, without him, they don't win an NBA title, and without him, I don't think they're as good of a team. But they have a number and they have some sort of schematic that tells them otherwise, and I guess we'll find out. I don't know. It's like in baseball when they got rid of stolen bases.
You don't think we'll see like Magic Johnson or Jason Williams again, in the NBA?
Oh, I think we will. I'm saying that you can never lose that. You can never lose that element. You have
that's
to.
Why Steph Curry's captivating, right?
Right. Yep. And he also he fits into the analytics. That helps.
It isn't with the bounce though. He still plays the numbers game.
He does, but like he's sort of a perfect blend between the math and the beauty of it, like the artistry of it.
I could see that.
Like, but you rewind like 10 years, like there was a lot with the bounce with Curry back in the day too. Yeah. Like he doesn't do as much anymore, but like he is unfortunately for the conversation, also really good for the math. But he also changed the math. I mean, there was a year where a contested Curry three was better than LeBron at the rim. Yeah, that's not normal math either.
100%. All right, Sam, I wanted to get to recruiting, but I mean, here we are.
Maybe next week. Sam,
maybe next week.
We appreciate
football awaits. All right, take care.
We appreciate the
Thanks,
time, Sam.
Sam.
That was good stuff. Coming up next, football does await. We've got Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine. We will have him coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Feeling tired? Foggy? Just off? At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, we offer hormone evaluations, peptides, supervised weight management for men and women. Most insurance accepted. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com.
Yeah, I think on scout team, it's a more selfless mindset. You kind of have to step back and look at it as, I'm doing a role for a team, and I wasn't necessarily super thrilled about it, but obviously as a baller, I want to ball, but now it's like, all right, this is it's go time now. So it's just that, like I said, it's that competitive switch that you have to flip.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We're waiting on Phil, right?
That is
correct. Okay. Yep. So he'll join us in a couple of minutes here. Phil Steele of the famous Phil Steele College Football Preview Magazine. Can't wait.
What?
It's one of my favorite interviews of the year, talking to Phil.
Wonder why you're looking at me.
I'm just saying hi. What's up? How you doing?
That's not what you were
I said,
doing.
hey, what's up? Hello.
What's fascinating about the artistry?
No, I think
There's
it was
just
a
some
really
styles,
interesting conversation.
There's just some styles I don't know if I could see coming back.
I mean, so it's interesting when you talk about, like, somebody brought Jason Williams up in the chat, right? Like, stylistically, even by the end of Jason Williams' career, that's not how he played, right? In Miami, that's not how Jason Williams played. It wasn't really like late, like not early Sacramento. Like, he toned things down quite a bit.
Well, he had to because he was in Miami.
That's what I mean, though. Like, even by the end of his career, he wasn't what we think of Jason Williams.
Yeah, but a lot of it is the style in which Miami played, which back then, that was where all good offensive games went to die.
It was pretty methodical, pretty.
Yeah, like, so I don't know if that would be like my.
I just mean
my example
in a league in which they will sacrifice, what do they want to call it? Artistry, creativity.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Let's take Jay Will out of it.
Okay.
What would Penny Hardaway do tomorrow in the NBA? How would he play?
Power forward.
I don't like that's kind of hee ha ha, but
not really. He can't shoot. He can't play.
He's not a good shooter.
He can't be a guard. I'm not really kidding.
Like I don't know if you can play in the NBA without your primary ball handler
being able to shoot the ball,
being able to score.
Yeah. He could maybe get away with like a more creative DeMar DeRozan game. He's not as good from the mid-range as DeMar is, but
it's fascinating.
That's why, I'm not enamored with Penny Hardaway the way some people are. Like, I think he was a really interesting prospect at the time and never.
I just use him as an example.
No, of a guy that we liked a lot and fit a certain era, but like the math wouldn't math for him anymore.
Would Grant Hill shoot it well enough?
Would Penny be like a Giannis ish?
He might have to be.
Yeah, he just
not like the dominance, but just like the get to the rim.
Stylistically,
I'm dead serious. Stylistically,
yeah. I mean, you're looking at maybe like a Westbrook type, probably. He's not physically as like explosive as Westbrook, but he's got the length on him, so maybe you could figure it out. He's probably somewhere between Giannis and Westbrook, which you can see works in a certain sense, but you got to build a pretty specific team around them if that's going to be the case.
I thought the artistry question or the soul of the game, I thought that was fascinating.
The only thing I would have pushed back on there is I do think passing is much more part of the soul of the game.
I agree, but
I understood his larger point.
Like, I don't love Like I watch Illinois offensively, and they're a really good offensive team.
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
Drives me up the wall.
I hate it. You know me, I hate over dribbling. Every once in a while it's going to look okay, but I hate over dribbling.
I'm like, I get it. The bigs can shoot and it's played around the perimeter, but nobody ever gets vertical with the basketball.
Yeah. Because you know how you get vertical with the basketball? If you don't have a Kyrie Irving or somebody like that who can just get to the rim against just about everybody, is you pass the ball so that you can create a mismatch or create a seam, right? Like, and then you get vertical. Yeah. And if you don't do that,
I get the one
really hard to get vertical with the basketball, unless you are so athletically gifted or so gifted with your hands.
Sometimes it just makes it miserable to watch.
Yeah. I hate watching over dribbling basketball. It drives me crazy.
I mean, have you watched the Celtics when they're not?
Yes, it's awful.
It's
awful
really,
to
really
watch.
bad.
What's
basketball.
my biggest complaint about Luka Doncic outside of the fitness?
Oh, isolation.
He could have been Larry Bird, and he chose to be James Harden.
Yeah.
Like, and the difference is not. I'm not talking about skill level differences there. I'm talking about stylistic differences, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Larry Bird could get to the hoop with the basketball. He also played really, really beautiful basketball passing it and made smart team basketball decisions. That is not a way in which, but in Luka's defense, the math leans towards the way that he plays now. The math, like even if you came into like let's say he came to the Mavericks, 18 years old, bright-eyed, right out of Eastern Europe, and says like, man, I can't wait to play basketball like my idol Larry Bird, who stopped playing before I was born, right? And he's in there and he's doing his thing, and they go to him and they go, hey, bud, that's not how the math of the NBA works anymore. Like, we need you to play like this. This is the team that we have around you. Like, in his defense, it may not have been his choice. I really don't know. Because he didn't really play like this in Europe. Now, part of that, he's a kid playing against grown men, and there's like maybe he couldn't play like this in Europe. So I don't know with the chicken or an egg thing with Luka, right?
But to the overarching point, I think generally speaking, we don't like it's like baseball, right?
We don't like the three true outcomes that the math has told us are important.
Yeah,
you lose the soul of the game.
The soul of the game.
Yeah,
the hitting and running, stealing
the defense,
bases,
the sacrifices, the strategy.
Yeah, we don't like It's not that we don't like it. We don't see it.
We made a rule against shifting because we decided that was a bridge too far, and I don't disagree. I'm not complaining about it.
It's just fascinating when I put it against the other sports.
Yeah,
because I think the same thing could be said about baseball.
I agree. It's harder to fix in baseball, I think, because there's it's less connected in terms of team. Individual versus team results. It's less like you're not like passing on offense. You're not.
Yeah, like we've given up on the idea that you could win playing small ball.
Yeah,
or with defense and pitching.
Yeah, we think we talk about the 2015 Royals like they're from 1972.
Right.
Yeah. Like we don't like that wasn't that long ago. And I do think there's an argument to be made because there's a fundamental misunderstanding that we had with Moneyball, right? Moneyball wasn't about, hey, the most valuable thing is on base percentage and not overpaying closers and things like that. Wasn't the point of Moneyball. The point of Moneyball was to find market inefficiencies. When you start paying for the thing that used to be a market inefficiency,
it's no longer
the market inefficiency becomes something else. At some point,
it's not what it was.
Small ball will become the market inefficiency, right? Like at some point, the defensive center fielder that saves you 8 runs a game, 8 runs a year defensively, like there's analytics on that stuff too, right? It's not about just, well, hey, he's a 380 on base. Like at some point, the math is going to flip on causing non-productive outs being the market inefficiency. And I don't know when that's going to be, but
you're just going to need a lot more data. Like tracking unproductive outs.
And again,
can you imagine?
I mean, they do, but yes. And the other thing, it's going to be the same thing is you're going to need somebody with the courage to go against the
But
grain.
I don't know. I get your point. Yeah, they do. But so runners on first with no outs. It's 7, 8, 9 hitter. You swing and miss. It's an unproductive out. Next guy, lazy can of corn. Then your number 9 hitter may hit a home run. That guy in first scored anyway. So did you care?
Not always.
But that's kind of how the game goes.
But situationally, there are times where I think you'd have to, and I don't know what the internal analytics of some of these teams are, but I'm sure they have a differentiator between non-productive outs that end up not mattering versus non-productive outs that cost you.
So
right.
I guess you do see it in football too, right? Going for it on 4th down, 2-point conversions.
Yeah. I think the 4th down thing drives me crazy because I don't think anybody has the math right on that.
Yeah.
But we've got speaking of football though, we've got our guy Phil Steele joining us now. Phil, how you doing this morning? Thanks for joining us.
And I apologize for being late. Blame it on Mike Morgan. I was just doing his show, and he just kept going over the thing. But always enjoy talking football with you guys. Damon, we've been talking preseason football with Nebraska for quite some time.
Yeah, forever, man. I guess we could start right there, Phil. I mean, you're bullish on the defensive backs. You debunked a little bit of the schedule talk. How do you like Nebraska shaping up?
Well, I think last year ended in a disappointment for Nebraska. Things got good. At 7-3, it looked okay. And then the final 3 games, well, we don't really want to talk about those too much. But the thing I'm most bullish on for Nebraska this year is probably the mobile quarterback. Anthony Calandria, this guy really impressed me last year playing for UNLV. I thought he basically took the team, especially in the 4th quarter. They did get behind in some games, but he led them back, got the wins. I like that. And when you have a mobile quarterback, you don't want to have a pure passing quarterback behind them because then you have to change the offense should something happen. But they've got TJ Lateef. They got Daniel Kalen. They've got good depth at the quarterback spot. And I like what I saw to Lateef against UCLA. And then he played a couple of tough teams down the stretch, but I think he'd be much improved as a sophomore. You look at the offensive line, and Coach Rule said this could be one of his best offensive lines he had here. That's a good place to start. And defensively, there's plenty of talent. And I really like the addition of Rob Orich as the defensive coordinator. Love what he did at San Diego State last year. He brings a guy like Owen Chambliss with him at linebacker. I think Chambliss can have an instant impact in the Big Ten. Then you look at the schedule. I think they open up 5-0. So they host Indiana. They do have to play Oregon, but this will be a team playing with a lot of confidence when they host that Indiana game. I'm thinking that's going to be a pretty good game, and they do need to knock off a ranked team for the first time in a long time, but I think somewhere along the line they get it this year.
Okay, so I want to talk about the schedule here for a second because it's sort of the boogeyman here in Nebraska with what it looks like. You mentioned that Indiana and Oregon back-to-back. I want to hit on that Indiana game.
November is tough.
No, listen, there's tough games on the schedule. I'm sort of the mind that that's just what being in the Big Ten is now, right?
Yep.
But I want to talk about that Indiana game for a second here because I mean it's been super fast, but I'm sort of already in the we're just giving Cignetti the benefit of the doubt mode here, and I think for good reason. But you say, hey, I think that could be a pretty good game in Lincoln. Is that more about Nebraska and where you think they could be versus, hey, there's probably going to be a little bit of a readjustment after that Indiana team that had all those JMU guys and had Fernando Mendoza, and they may have to kind of recalibrate a little bit with a new cast of characters?
No, I think Coach Cignetti's doing a hell of a job restocking that roster each year. In fact, a lot of folks would think there's going to be a regression with Indiana last year after making the playoff. Okay, now they'll go back to form. Guess what? They had a new quarterback in Mendoza who actually won the Heisman. And let me go back to my first conversation with Coach Cignetti at James Madison. He was replacing an all-conference quarterback. It was his first year in the magazine. They're taking a step up. I'm like, Coach, it looks like you might struggle a little bit at quarterback. He's like, Phil, I always have an all-conference quarterback. I will have an all-conference quarterback this year. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And then I watch, and at the end of the year, guess what? His quarterback was all-conference. So I take him at his word, and he pretty much feels that Hoover right now is in the same shape that Mendoza was coming out of spring last year. There was question marks, but he got him going. And I think Hoover, if he cuts down on the turnovers that he had at TCU, and I believe Cignetti will get that out of him, he's got a pretty good supporting cast. You look at Charlie Becker, a wide receiver. They had in Nick Marsh from Michigan State, very underrated pickup. He was a player that probably would have had an even bigger year at better quarterback play. Offensive line solid, defensive tackles with Tucker and Lendino outstanding. Sharp at cornerback, one of the best in the country. The only game I have Indiana not favored in is Ohio State, and I've got that game pick 'em. So as long as Kurt Cignetti's walking the sidelines, I think he's going to have Indiana be a power in the Big Ten.
It's interesting in reading the mag. Two teams, I'm calling them not necessarily dark horses, but surprise teams in the Big Ten are 1 and 2, and scheduled, not 1 and 2. This was coming out of 2025, but in the top 30 in schedule is Wisconsin and UCLA. I know they had the tough schedules last year, so it kind of dictated it. They could be the beneficiaries of how they finished last year heading into this year. How do you like both those teams?
Yeah, and I tell you what, with Wisconsin, I was doing shows at the end of the year. People would ask me, they're like, who do you think Wisconsin's going to get to replace Luke Fickell? And I said, if I was the AD, I would hire Luke Fickell because he is a heck of a coach. They were just this guy has stepped in, and in 3 years, he has lost his starting quarterback within the first couple games of the year, all 3 years. When does that happen? And then last year, just that absolutely gauntlet of a schedule, yet he had them playing hard. I love what they did against Washington, love what they did against Illinois. And now this year, probably a little bit better depth at the quarterback position. Colton Joseph is a guy that, remember the couple long runs he had against Indiana last year while playing for ODU. I think he could have a good year. Let's keep him healthy, huh? And they do add Abu Sama coming in from Iowa State. I like the talent he's built here, that linebacking core with Posa and Catalano. They were dynamic down the stretch last year. And then, as you talked about, Damon, the schedule gets so much more manageable. Now, Notre Dame opening up tough. They do have to play Penn State on the road, UCLA on the road, USC and Iowa, but not facing Indiana, not facing Ohio State, not facing Oregon. That's a huge change from last year. I think you're going to see Wisconsin get back to winning ways and have a very good season. And with UCLA,
there you go.
Everybody's thinking maybe the James Madison thing going to happen here. But they got Nico Iamaleava at quarterback. They've got Wayne Knight coming in, who was a 1,000-yard rusher for James Madison last year. A lot of JMU guys coming in, a lot of transfers coming in. They will be much improved. I think I've got them favored in 7 games this year, so I see them at least doubling last year's win total. I don't think either's ready to contend for the Big Ten title. I wouldn't put either of them up in that echelon, but I do think both teams get to a bowl game this year. So good call there, Damon.
Phil, I want to talk about sort of Colton Joseph here for a second, because DB and I have been having this debate about not just Colton Joseph specifically, but sort of this brand of quarterback that comes from lower levels and then is all of a sudden, hey, you're the guy at a power conference level. John Mateer was sort of the poster boy for this.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how you differentiate between Mateers and Chamblises.
Yeah,
basically.
Right. Like, so as you're putting these together, I'm asking you, how do you differentiate when you're looking at guys coming from a level of competition that maybe you just don't have a great sense for how that translates?
Yeah, the one thing I found going through the rosters, not just for a quarterback position, but for every single position, is that experience is the main thing. Experience. Bring a guy in from FCS or Group of 6, bring them up. As long as they have the experience, generally the reason they weren't recruited, maybe size, maybe strength, but they get bigger, stronger, faster each year. And now they've got the training table. They've got the weight rooms, which are superior to what they had. They come in with a great attitude. They got a chip on their shoulder, and they're a tremendous team player. I found that those guys are much better than the Power 4 guys, the VHTs, or very highly touted guys that haven't played, that are stepping down. Those guys come in with a little bit of an attitude, don't have that experience level. So experience. Look at Wake Forest last year, for example. When going over the team with Wake last year, their main thing was snaps. They brought in all, how many snaps did this guy have? How many snaps did that guy have? Look, they went 9 wins last year for Wake Forest, which was phenomenal pickup in the portal. So overall, I like the Harvard quarterback going over to TCU. I think he's going to have a heck of a year this year. Yeah. He probably would have been an NFL draft pick had he come out, probably been a 5th round pick. And now he's playing for TCU this year. And I think he'll have a very solid year.
Let me ask you, I want to go to a couple of my true dark horses. I'm going to go over to Big 12 because it's wide open, right? I mean, I get it. Texas Tech defensively looks loaded. We'll see what happens at the quarterback spot. The running back room loaded again. but there's expectations. The schedule on paper,
easy.
It looks easy, right? I understand, but they did stub their toe in Tempe last year, and I think they got to go to Stillwater and to Waco at the end. I like Houston in that conference as the team that's flying way under the radar, especially in the opener, where I think the points are a gift. Do you like Houston this year?
Yeah, I do. You look at Connor Wegman at the quarterback spot. Let's keep him healthy all year. I thought that was the question mark coming into last year, and he proved it. He also proved to be a better runner than what you thought because he didn't run the ball that much at A&M. They had in a Mekhi Hughes at running back. Now, here's a guy that was a 1,000-yard rusher twice at Tulane, once under Willie Fritz. So it's not a new system for him. I think he will thrive. And defensively, tons of talent on that side. Now, they do have to play Texas Tech on a Friday on the road. They also play Utah on the road. And then a very tricky game, West Virginia, November 21st. If I'm looking for a sleeper, not somebody that's going to contend for the title, but somebody that's going to be a much better than last year, it's West Virginia and Rich Rod. But I do think Houston's in that level. In fact, if I'm looking for the top 4 teams in the Big 12 this year, it's Texas Tech, BYU, Utah, and Houston. I think those are the 4 most talented teams in the Big 12. And I'll mention this as well. A lot of folks have asked me, hey, Sorsby, he's not there. What does that do to your outlook? It actually didn't change my outlook at all. I was 85% sure, maybe even 90% sure this guy was not going to be allowed to play football. And then all of a sudden it was announced after the magazine came out, he's going to play. I'm like, oh, I have to adjust my power ratings. I did list him as a starter because I always list players that could be there. And I thought if given the chance, he would start if he's eligible, but he's not going to be eligible. So it didn't change my Texas Tech outlook whatsoever when I did the magazine.
I got to ask you a little bit about this. Is a selfish question here. I randomly like Florida State quite a bit. They've had a very strange last few years, going from the undefeated regular season to a 2-win season to knocking off Bama in opening week last year to being pretty bad the rest of the. Like you mentioned, I was thinking about this with Luke Fickell. You go, hey, if you're the AD, who do you hire after Luke Fickell? Is Norvell in that same boat for you where you're like, hey, if you're Florida State, you should hire Mike Norvell? Or what are you seeing with them this year and his opportunity to turn things back around there?
Yeah, and on philsteele.com, I'm doing a schedule strengths for each of the conferences. They're up there. If you go under daily blogs, you can click on them and get all the schedule strengths. Unfortunately, 2 coaches that are taking on the toughest schedule in their conference are 2 coaches on the hot seat, talking about Satterfield of Cincinnati and then Mike Norvell at Florida State. Now, you hit it right on the head, Damon. You look how Florida State started out last year. They were 3-0. They dominated Alabama. They blew out 2 teams by 143-13 margin. They're number 7 in the country. Then they lose in overtime, lose by 6, lose by 3, lose by 7. They were basically 4 or 5 plays away from being 7-0. And then it sort of collapsed down the stretch, much like it did the previous year. And I think that happens. And one of the reasons I did the homegrown factor in this year's magazine is that I see these heavy transfer portal teams. If things aren't going right, they sort of collapse in the month of November. And that's what we've seen out of Florida State the last 2 years, especially that game against Florida that ended the season. But I do like the talent. I think getting Deuce Robinson back at receiver was huge. Ashton Daniels, he's got to improve on that ratio. I mean, if you look at his career ratio, it's about even. He's got to improve upon that. But there is talent there. Now, they do face the toughest schedule in the ACC. Plus, they play Alabama on the road. And I think Alabama might be up for that game a little bit. But I did put them on my most improved list. I got them number 8 most improved in the country. And I think they probably need to get 7 or 8 wins for Norvell to still be around the next year.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but outside of Luke Montgomery, I don't see an All-America caliber guy on the O-line. I like Sand. I don't love Sand. I mean, listen, Jeremiah Smith is fantastic. But one of my early hot takes was, I'm not going to be surprised if Ohio State isn't a college football playoff team. The roster's loaded, but they replace so much. Are they just that good?
Yeah, it shows you what NIL money does. They definitely have the roster. You look at these guys offensively, I think they have the best offense in college football. Julian Sand coming back. Bo Jackson was a 1,000-yard rusher. I think he'll be improved this year. They've got depth there. The guy to keep your eye on would be Legend Bay, a true freshman. He's a guy that really was impressive in the spring, and I think he's going to open up some eyes. Number one receiving core. And I'll be honest with you, I'm on the Joe Moore Award Committee. Those guys have not been wild about Ohio State's offensive line the last couple of years. This year, I think they are a legitimate Joe Moore Award contender.
Was Theobald in Montgomery?
Yes, with Montgomery. They've got Hinsman's. They have 4 starters back from last year. I think they're right up there. And then, you talk about all the losses. Well, last year at this time, we're talking about their defensive line losing a number 1, a number 2, and a number 5 draft pick. This year, their defensive line loses a number 2 and a number 6 draft pick. Now, the linebackers, different story. You're talking about losing Sonny Styles and Avril Reese, 2 of the very high picks in the draft. Also losing a guy like Downs out of the secondary and Igbenson. But when you look at Ohio State, they do a good job replenishing it. I don't know if the defensive line or if the linebacking core is probably my biggest question mark. They're young, inexperienced, probably the biggest concern on the team. But, like I said, last year they lost all these top draft picks and did quite well. But with that offense, I think they'll be able to overcome some things. Now, they do play a tougher schedule. They got to play Texas, Iowa, Indiana, USC, all on the road this year. So it's a much tougher schedule than what they had last year. But that might make them better prepared for the playoff. Remember, they played a soft schedule last year. They get to the postseason, they lose both games.
Phil, I got to ask about Ohio State's biggest rival because I'm a big Kyle Whittingham fan. You're talking offensive lines. He's got a history of great offensive lines at Utah. He brings that to a place that's got a history of great offensive lines in Michigan as well. What do you think year one, considering all the tumultuousness we've seen at Michigan over the last couple of years, what do you think year one under Kyle Whittingham looks like?
I think it's going to be good. Damon, when going through last year's coaching search, they're throwing names out there at the end, and you're just like, are you kidding me? Yeah. That guy for Michigan, are you kidding me? That's a step back. That's a step back. That's a step back. Oh, they hired Kyle Whittingham. Whoa. I didn't even see that coming. That is a hell of a hire and a hell of a fit. I mean, this is a guy that relies on the run game, relies on defense. His defensive line at Utah, always outstanding. I asked him about the Polynesian players up front on the defensive line that he's always had at Utah. He said, we'll get them, Phil, but we're not quite there yet. But he's got some in there. And same thing on the offensive line. So he knows how to build that. They've got a quarterback in Bryce Underwood, who's now a veteran. Remember that Oklahoma game? They sort of took him in there slowly. He got a little bit better as the season went on. Now he's in a real good offense for him and his mobility. I think it's going to be a really good start to the Whittingham era. They get Oklahoma at home. They get Iowa at home. I could see them win both those games. Penn State at home. They get Indiana at home. They could very well be 6-0 for that game. At the very end, they have to play Oregon on the road and Ohio State on the road. I think they probably do drop the Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana games, but I haven't favored in all the other games with the Oklahoma game a toss-up. I think it's a good year, but I wouldn't put them quite in the level of Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon this year.
There is such a thing in the SEC for a power team like Oklahoma. The schedule does get a little easier outside of going to Gainesville in November. Listen, they got to go to Athens. They're at Ann Arbor. They obviously doubt Texas and Dallas, but Georgia's my number one team in the country. If I had to pick today, I would go with Georgia. But I asked the guys last week, I said, would not surprise me if Oklahoma makes a run to win the SEC. I feel like they're flying a little under the radar behind Texas, Bama, and Georgia. Do you like Oklahoma?
I do, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
At the line.
Oklahoma's got my number 3 rated defense. I think they're loaded with NFL caliber players. David Stone, Taylor Wine, Jaden Jackson, Kip Lewis, Heineke coming back, I think is massive. Eli Bowen at cornerback, Peyton Bowen at safety. They are loaded defensively. Now the key's going to be offensively. John Mateer, not the same after the hand injury last year. Will he be 100%? But he's got Satania back. They add in Parker Livingston from Texas, Trell Harris from Virginia. I like that. And the offensive line, while they only have a couple guys starters back from last year, remember, they've been sort of injury plagued the last 2 years, and they've got one of the best offensive line coaches out there in Bill Bedenbaugh. So I think when you do look at the schedule, remember last year they went on the road, beat Bama. They went on the road, beat Tennessee on the road. So they could win these road games. I think Oklahoma is a legitimate contender in the SEC.
What about LSU? Ravi had a hot take a couple weeks ago. You think they make, or was it Ole Miss or LSU that come back to? Okay.
I think Ole Miss comes back.
But I think LSU struggles this year a little bit too. Phil, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the homegrown factor. I think trying to bring in 40, 50 new guys, develop them into a team is tough. I like the teams in the homegrown factor, like Ohio State, for example. You know, they bring in a lot of freshmen that turn into sophomores, juniors, and yet they add to it with the transfer portal and do well. Texas does that. Georgia does that, but they're mostly homegrown teams. LSU's not that. They're heavy in the transfer portal. They brought in 107 starts from FBS, 46 starts from the FCS. They do have talent, but how quickly are they going to come together? That's a big question. If you're saying which team's going to do better, LSU or Ole Miss this year, I think it's going to be Ole Miss has a better record at the end of the year. That September 19th matchup, who are they playing? Oh, they are playing Ole Miss. Wow, that should be a fun one there. They also play they also play Auburn on the road and Texas and Alabama at home. I'm not putting LSU in the national title contender role. I've got them the step back off of that.
All right, 10-3 Hart. Most people, that's a successful season. Not for Sark in Texas. At D-line, I mean, you talk about D-lines and what they could bring to the table. Everybody except my partner loves Arch Manning. What do you think about the Longhorns?
Yeah, I thought last year Arch Manning had a lot of hype coming into the year. It didn't look great the first half of the season. But remember, he only had one starter back on the offensive line. He had a running back core where your top running back had under 600 yards rushing on the year. Now Arch Manning has got a top-notch offensive line in front of him. I think they're vastly improved over last year. They've returned Ryan Wingo and Emmett Mosley, but they add in Cam Coleman, one of the best receivers in college football. They bring in 2,000-yard running backs and Hollywood Smothers from NC State, Raleek Brown from Arizona State. Plus, they've got a true freshman, Derek Cooper, coming in, who really wowed in the spring. So I think Arch Manning has a much better supporting cast. And if you watch Manning last year, sorry, Ravi, you're taking a look at a quarterback that I thought grew as the season went on. When he got to the end of the year, he was playing some pretty good ball. I think he lives up to his potential this year. And defensively, they're loaded. Really like the pickup of Rasheem Biles coming in from Pitt at linebacker, one of the more underrated linebackers in the country, to go with Colin Simmons, Hero Canoe up front. This is a loaded Texas team, one of the most talented teams in the country.
No, I mean, listen, there's no arguing Arch had a good back end of the season. I'm not gonna fight anybody there. It was more the preseason hype that going in that I was a little hesitant on Arch, and his UTEP game didn't help him much there either. But as speaking of places or people or quarterbacks that have had a lot of hype going into last year, right? I'm thinking of the DJ Lagways of the world, the Lenore Sellers of the world. Let's stick with those two guys in particular. More likely in your mind to live up, and obviously DJ's got to change the location there, but more likely to live up to who we thought they were in your mind, a Lenore Sellers or a DJ Lagway?
I think both are going to have good years. Talking to Coach Aranda, he really likes how Lagway has fit in at Baylor. But I think Baylor probably doesn't have as good a year as South Carolina. I think South Carolina is the better team. And I mean, Lenore Sellers, didn't he look like Superman at the end of the year in 2024, especially a Clemson game where he basically took that thing over by himself? Offensive line has been just injury plagued. Like what Coach Beamer's doing on the offensive line, bringing in a ton of experience, which again, going back to snaps, starts, he brought it all in. I think they'll have a better offensive line in front of them. Nick Harbour in his last two games last year, he finally looked like the 6'5" super fast, one of the fastest players in the country, developing as a receiver. If that continues, look out. And they've got talent at the receiving core as well. So I'm going to say Lenore Sellers has the better year this year and lives up to the hype.
How about, I want to go back to the Big Ten. If Nebraska's going to move up, a couple of teams that have been a thorn in their side are going to move down. I want to talk Minnesota and Iowa. I'll start with Iowa in particular. Kind of know what you're getting when you talk to Coach Ferentz and Coach Parker. I think one of the better offense OC hires a couple years ago is starting to pay dividends. What do you think about the Hawkeyes?
If you look at this team on paper, you lose your quarterback in Mark Gronowski, which is tough. You lose 3 offensive linemen from the Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line. You lose your punter, your kicker, your top punt returner, your top kick returner, your special teams coach. You lose the majority of your defensive front seven. Oh, I don't know. What about Iowa this year? Oh, Kirk Ferentz still the head coach? Yep. Phil Parker still the defense coordinator? Yep. Can he get more done with less than anybody else in the country? Yes. And as long as Kirk Ferentz still there, I think Iowa's contender. And keep in mind, go back and look at last year. They lost 4 games last year, but those 4 games, they were basically 4 plays away from winning those games. They lost by 5, 2, 5, and 3 points. And we're talking about playing some of the best teams in the country. And they were 4 plays away from being 13-0 last year. So as long as Coach Ferentz is there, I'm happy. And going over the squad with Coach Fleck this year, you've got Drake Lindsey back. He's experienced. Darius Taylor, I think, should return to form. You look at the offensive line, Greg Johnson, Nathan Roy, 2 of the outstanding offensive linemen. And last year was not your typical Gopher team. They didn't really run the ball that well. Only 103 yards rushing. In fact, the last 2 years they've struggled, under 4 yards a carry. Coach Fleck, highly confident they will be back to their normal run game, outstanding. And then Drake Lindsey, now experienced. Anthony Smith, one of the top defensive linemen in the country up front. I put him on the All-American team. Baranowski at linebacker is solid. This is a sort of a sneaky team. I think they're flying under the radar this year. Coach Fleck had a quiet confidence to them in the spring that they're going to be better than most folks expect.
Phil, as you're naming off those names of Iowa coaches, one noticeably absent this year is LeVar Woods, who went and joined Pat Fitzgerald up at Michigan State. Great hire for Pat Fitzgerald there, but are you as high on Michigan State in year 1 under Pat Fitzgerald as a lot of people seem to be?
No, I think the transfer portal heavy teams will struggle. This is practically a brand new team coming in this year. And, when you look at Michigan State, they've got talent, but I think it's just too many new folks. I do like their quarterback. I think they're in good shape there. They've got a couple of offensive linemen back. Just one sec. Okay, there we go. I was just a little distracted there for a minute. Okay, but I think when you look at the schedule, I've got a number 7 schedule in the country, and I don't see a lot of wins for Pat Fitzgerald. I do think Pat Fitzgerald's going to come in and get the program righted, but I think he needs a couple of his recruiting class, transfer portal will be better in the second year. So I'm looking at this as a rebuilding year, bottom line.
So I want to go to the ACC. It's a wide open conference. Everybody loves Miami. I understand that. Not sure what we're going to get from Clemson. There's the North Carolina states that are kind of the dark horse. I think Tony Elliott was better for Virginia than people thought when they go back and look at UVA. They get Prabula to come over as a senior. I know you're a homegrown guy, but Virginia is definitely on my radar of a team that could ruin some seasons for some teams in the ACC. You like the Cavaliers?
I like them, but I don't have them getting back to the ACC title game like they did last year. I thought last year was outstanding. Now, I do think Tony Elliott's doing a great job building this team. They got more NIL money. We saw that last year, and they used the portal extremely well last year. I like Prabula, and then having a guy like Holstein there as well. Yeah. I mean, you've got 2 quarterbacks that have done it. The offensive line does look solid. They got Mikhail Boley at left tackle, one of the better left tackles in the game. In fact, I rated the number 10 offensive line in the country. Not overwhelmed with the skill group offensively, but defensively, all 3 units rank in my top 25. Now, when you look at the schedule this year, they do have to play Florida State on the road. We talked about them. They have to play SMU on the road, and they play Virginia Tech on the road. I think this is a team that's going to be in the mix, but I don't see them getting there. If I'm looking at the ACC, I'm picking my top 4 teams. I'm going to go with Miami, best talent, and I think they finally, since they've joined the conference in 2004, they have 0 ACC titles. Shocking. Who would have thought that in 2004? I think they finally get it this year. They are the most talented team, but battling them for the spot will be SMU, or SMU as I call them, Clemson and Louisville. I think those are your top teams. Other than that, you got Pitt, I think, and then you touched on it a little. I think NC State is just a little way under the radar, and that's right where Dave Doran likes them. In fact, I go through, after I put the magazine out, I go through and every single game for the upcoming year, who I have favored, who I have an underdog. The only games I've got them an underdog this year, I've got them a slight underdog at Vanderbilt, slight underdog at Florida State, and a toss-up game would be Louisville at home. And I think that might be the key to their season. If they can get Louisville at home, I think this is an NC State team that should play well. And when I wrote the magazine, I was thinking they might have that, or no, I realized at the last minute they weren't going to have to make that big trip. We've seen teams that travel overseas have really struggled in recent years. I think getting that game moved to Virginia is going to help NC State, as they don't have to travel to Brazil at the start of the year and have to deal with all that.
What about, do you like Bill Belichick's roster?
I do like the roster better, but last year they actually played the softest schedule in the ACC, and now they play one of the toughest schedules in the ACC. And, you know, there's only a couple of coaches I didn't talk to this year. Naturally, North Carolina is one of them. I didn't get to talk to Coach Belichick. So I wasn't able to go through the roster and learn about the players, so I'm not really sure what they have here and there. I think getting to a bowl game would be an accomplishment for North Carolina this year, despite the fact they've got one of the greatest head coaches of all time.
You mentioned Clemson in your top 4 of the ACC. I think a lot of people are a little hesitant on Clemson this year. Things seem like they got a little sideways on Dabo the last couple years. Why are you so high on Clemson?
You know, last year I thought they were better than their record. In fact, in ACC play, they were plus 66 yards per game. Generally, it's indicative of a 6-2 or a 7-1 team. They did lose some guys off the defensive line, a number 1, a number 2, and number 5 DC. But I thought quarterback-wise, they didn't get what they thought they were going to get out of Klubnik last year. Whether it's Vizina or whether it's Reynolds at QB, and I think Reynolds is really battling for the job, I think they're going to get better quarterback play. They've got an outstanding receiving corps, much like you saw when Clemson was a national title contender. They've got a solid offensive line with Sadler and Jacobs. And defensively, I didn't think that Tom Allen's defense was going to give up 350 yards per game last year. But I think they're better defensively. Sammy Brown's back at linebacker, Ashton Hampton at quarterback. And when I hung up the phone with Coach Sweeney, I was like, well, you're back to being little old Clemson now. That's right where you want to be, and that's where he's at. So I think that when you look at Clemson, I think they're going to be a surprise contender in the ACC and challenge Miami.
I'll close by staying in the Big Ten Conference with just a couple of teams. Number one, topically, how close was it for you between Oregon and Ohio State as the best team in the Big Ten?
I've got all 3 of them tied for top: Oregon, Indiana, and Oregon. I have them all finishing first, tied for first. You know, Dante Moore coming back was really surprising to me. I thought this guy's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. He opts to come back. Wow. Do you look at the defense they have? That defensive line is going to be one of the best in the country. They've got Finney, a shutdown corner at the cornerback spot. I think they get improved play out of the running back position. And then you look at the receiving core. They were all banged up last year. Now they're healthy. The one thing I don't like about Oregon, they do have to play USC on the road. Excuse me. They have to play Ohio State on the road. And do they play Indiana? I don't see Indiana on the schedule. But those 2 road games, excuse me, are going to be tough for them this year. But I think the Ducks are they could very well be the 4th different Big Ten team to win a national title in 4 years. They're right up there talent-wise.
All right, last one for me in the this is the helmet question. Who makes more noise? I surprisingly, I think SC is going to be better defensively than most people in the country think, because they don't think that goes with Lincoln Riley. But of the helmet teams, more impactful year, Matt Campbell at Penn State or Lincoln Riley, who for whatever reason is going to probably be on the hot seat without a certain number of wins in Southern Cal?
I like Penn State's schedule, but I'm going to go with USC. And as you mentioned, when I went over the team with Coach Riley, he said it's the best defensive line he's had since he's been here. The defense overall is probably the best. And they got some guy, Gary Patterson, calling the shots now. This guy knows defense.
I think they could be top 5 in the conference, Phil.
That they will or will not?
I think they could be.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. This defense could be top. And you pair that with that offense. Coach Riley's highly confident at the end of the year, Jade Maava is going to be a first-round draft pick. They have Wayman Jordan back at running back. And how about that offensive line? It is a Joe Moore Award contender and one of the more veteran units out there. Now, some newness at wide receiver, but I like the talent they have at the wide receiver spot. And with Matt throwing the ball, they should be there. And here's the thing I really like about USC this year. They host Oregon and they host Ohio State. Last year, they were 7-0. And remember, they would have made the playoff had they won at Oregon. Well, it's tough to win in Autzen Stadium. But now they got the Ducks at home. And I thought they gave them a good game last year. If they can knock off an Oregon or knock off an Ohio State at home, all of a sudden, the big three, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, turns into the big four. And USC is a great shot at making the playoff.
Fool's gold with that schedule in Happy Valley?
I just think they have a lot of turnover this year. There's so much change on the roster. They will have a good record. I mean, I've got them favored over Marshall, Temple, Buffalo, Wisconsin, Northwestern. The USC game, I think, is going to be a pivotal one for them. They do have to play Michigan and Washington on the road. But, yeah, this is a team that's going to have more than 7 wins. Matt Campbell always gets the most out of his team. I just think if you line them up talent-wise and compare them to USC, I'm going to take USC. And I think that Lincoln Riley's got a little bit more stable of a program. But Penn State's going to have a good year. And let's see, the over-under's 8.5. I'd probably still lean towards the over on that. I think it will be a better year with that schedule.
Phil, real quick, $1 million question here in Omaha, Nebraska. How many wins do the Huskers end up with this year?
Well, the question would be, can Matt Rhule top last year's 7-win total? I have him a dog in 5 games this year, but I'm going to call for them to pull an upset in one of those games. So I'm going to go with 8 this season for Nebraska, topping last year's 7-win total. And I believe the over-under in Vegas is 6.5, so I'm playing the over on that.
There you go. That is the man, the myth, the legend, Phil Steele. We appreciate the time. Great stuff, and it was wonderful talking to you. We appreciate it.
Always appreciate it, Phil, but appreciate it.
Hey, it was a lot of fun. And just remember, the magazine's only available at 2 bookstores. Barnes & Noble and Books A Million are the only 2 places to go get it. Or you could go to philsteele.com, 376 pages, like getting 138 media guides rolled into one. Always love talking football with you guys.
Thanks, Phil.
That is Phil Steele, College Football Preview Magazine. I'm a Barnes & Noble guy myself. That's where I got
I'm right
mine.
there with you.
It's a little yearly tradition I make for myself. I go and get my preview magazines, and it feels always
They're accessible
on the
too,
list.
right around the corner on the.
Yeah, they usually have the big Phil Steele display. It's great, super easy to find. We appreciate Phil. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Are you feeling off, low energy, or asleep? At Next Gen Male Medical, we not only evaluate your testosterone, but overall health. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com. Together, we'll get you back on your game.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, we apologize for running late there. We appreciate you hanging out.
No, you're fine. I'm like 4 days late for you guys. I was supposed to be with you last Thursday, and I was traveling and had meetings, and so thanks for your patience with me.
Pull the ripcord. Pull the ripcord. Mitch, let me ask you something, because some of these media days, and maybe it's just because we're in the Big Tens, right? So I'm clearly biased. It's a 3-day monster. There's a ton of teams. When you don't even have to rank them, but level of importance, obviously SEC, Big Ten, but should these conferences, the ACC, the Big 12 came and went last week at the little 1-day deal? We're like, oh shoot, the Big 12 media days. Like, is there a way to do more for the conference, or does it simply just not matter?
to do more for the conference at the media days?
Yeah.
I don't know. The Pac-12 is new. That is returning this year and not having a conference media days. They decided to just do away with it. I don't think it's going to kill the league. I think it would have been good for them to find the money to do it in like year one of this reboot. With the Big Ten Network and the SEC Network for the two major leagues, the big leagues, I'm sure they could do more. I'm sure they could get more creative. I do think that we especially the SEC, and I heard from a lot of my coworkers last week. We were in Las Vegas for a couple of days, and that was when I had to ditch on you guys. And talking to a lot of our writers who cover the SEC and editors who work with that conference, they're kind of dismayed by the conference media days, which is next week in Tampa, because they feel like it's just all for TV, for the SEC Network, for ESPN, and it's great for them. And I suppose that's probably what matters most, because that's where the largest amount of just mass exposure comes from. But for people like us who were, working for a company like Hurrdat or the Athletic, now the Athletic gets some special treatment at Big 12. I know we had a room there. We don't have that in as far as I know. And if we do, I'm not involved at the Big Ten event. You just have to kind of fight for scraps. And there's a lot of access at Big Ten because all the players sit out there at a table for 30 minutes. SEC's not like that. SEC's just kind of a made for TV event. I don't know what the answer is to maximize everything from conference media days. I think they just kind of are what they are. Like you're a month away from really getting into the heart of camp right now when the SEC goes on stage. With the Big Ten, at least it's a little bit closer to camp. I think that gives them a better opportunity to be in the window of when fans are thinking heavily about football. So I suppose that's good. Maybe one thing that the Big 12 could do, and they just like to be first and they like to be out front and get this thing started. But, it's the 4th of July. It's basically it's so far away from when things are getting rolling from a football practice standpoint, I think it's hard to get everybody to engage from your audience.
Mitch, as you're looking in the next couple of weeks of going to Big Ten media days, is there, I know you said you kind of have a limited exposure to some of the guys there, but is there things you're looking to find out about teams outside of Nebraska? I think that's, with Nebraska, we kind of have more access, obviously. Is there a couple teams in particular they're like, hey, I kind of want to talk to these guys to see what's going on there?
Yeah, it's a lot of them. I mean, I'll just kind of look at Nebraska's schedule and my job there is probably going to go beyond Nebraska's schedule. We don't have somebody who covers every team, obviously, at the Athletic. Michigan, Ohio State will be handled. But I'm interested in Matt Campbell at Penn State. I just kind of came to the realization last week when I was thinking about Big Ten media days that Matt Campbell's going to be there from Penn State. And I'm excited about that because I like Matt Campbell and have known him personally for a long time. And I'm really excited to see him on that stage and what it looks like. So I haven't been exposed to Campbell at Penn State like the people in Pennsylvania have for the last several months. So it's all going to seem very new and weird to me, but I want to kind of take that in. I'm interested in Pat Fitzgerald and the Michigan State contingent just from a Nebraska perspective, because Nebraska opens the conference season there. And it's such an important game for, I think, the way that the year goes. So I'll start with those. And it's all the usual suspects. I do want to hear from Ohio State and Michigan and USC and Oregon. So I think Dan Lanning's always a really fascinating guy at this event, just to follow. I've had the chance the last couple of years to follow him around on Oregon's day, and just really it's really kind of captivating the way that he handles that side of his job. It's different than I think a lot of the coaches there who are more buttoned up. Lanning is just very much a cool customer, and I like the way that he handles his business. And then Kurt Cignetti is his own sideshow at this point. It wasn't so much that last year because people, I think thought maybe that was a 1-year thing, and obviously it was not. And now he's coming in with even more sway because he just won a national championship. So he's going to command as much or more of an audience than anybody in attendance at that thing.
I'm going to do them in pairs. What's your gut tell you right now? The more interesting storyline in November, USC or Penn State?
I think probably USC, because they're deep into this regime that is trying to win there. And it's hard to win in the Big Ten. I think if Penn State is off from where like the expectations were to begin last season, then that's going to be understood and accepted somewhat. With USC, I just think there's less margin for understanding, and it typically, that has a tendency to lend itself, or it's opening to being like a uncomfortable situation at USC. If and I just was listening to Phil Steele on your last segment as I waited, and heard you talking about the defense at USC. If that doesn't click the way that they're hoping, and some people believe that it will, then I think USC is a really interesting story in November. Whereas Penn State could go either way, and it's maybe not captivating people quite as much outside of Pennsylvania.
Wisconsin or Minnesota?
What's more interesting in November? For the same reasons, probably Wisconsin. I just think there's a ton of pressure on Luke Fickell and on that program right now, and see the changes that they're making at athletic director, and that's interesting to me, of course. And it's not just the athletic director; it's the administration as a whole. Michigan State's in a similar spot, and Michigan might be about to be in a similar spot, but Michigan State already is, where there's just so much churn and change and uncertainty. Wisconsin's there, and people are going to want to know if they made the right decision in hiring Sean Eichhorst and how that looks. It's not, his fate doesn't ride on this football season, but certainly Luke Fickell's does, and the direction that Eichhorst is going to go with things is going to be set in motion here over the next few months, and November. Yeah, I'm really interested to see where Wisconsin is in November.
Interesting combination here. One, because they're looking for quarterback play. The other, because everybody loves their quarterback coming out of Elite 11. Maryland or Iowa?
Personally, I'm always tuned into Iowa, and especially in looking ahead to the month of November. Now we're going to see Maryland early in the season coming to Memorial Stadium, so definitely will have my eye on what Maryland has to say this month in Chicago. But if you're projecting this for what am I going to, what do I think is potentially a more interesting story in the month of November? It's, for me, that's a no brainer. It's Iowa, just because I'm personally not as tuned in at the end of the season and usually to Maryland. Maryland. Just the reality is that they faded. In most years. By the time you get to November, you can kind of cross. It's hard to follow 18 teams intensely, and you can cross them off with some things when it gets to the month of November. But we'll see. We'll see this year. I know that I'll be interested in Iowa at the end of the season.
Mitch, obviously last year James Franklin was kind of the one where going into the year, I think a lot of people would have been pretty stunned that he ended up not being their head coach by the end of the year. Is there a team that you look at and you go, yeah, I don't really see it now, but if they have basically he had 3 bad weeks and lost his job. Is there, you look at go, hey, if they have a bad month, bad October, like this thing could be a wrap, outside of like the Luke Fickles where we're like, hey, yeah, we kind of know he's already on the hot seat.
Yeah. The first place that my mind went was USC, because there's a lot of there's a lot of pressure there, and they definitely have to win. And I don't think it's a whole lot more complex than that. There's not another big brand in the league where you're in the same situation as USC right now. I mean, Nebraska's in that spot. I don't know that it's the same conversation as USC or Wisconsin or what James Franklin was in last year. But there's always a lot of pressure, and they're certainly, it's ramped up this year, I think, because of the way that last year ended. So it might be a different outcome if Nebraska were to have a really bad month of October, a different outcome than what you'd see at USC as far as like the way that the dominoes fell. But the pressure and the scrutiny would be equally as intense.
Are we past that now that he's got a national championship? Are we past that point with Ryan Day? Because like 2 years ago, it kind of seemed like, hey, if he loses to Michigan again, like we might be done here, right? Like, are we past that point?
Sure, but it could always come back. It's not like you're past it forever. Past it right now. Like I think he's in a safe zone right now. And also you look at his roster, and it's hard for me to imagine Ohio State going through a stretch like that. But yeah, it could happen. You can have injuries. You can, we didn't see it with Penn State last year at all. Never could have imagined that was
or Clemson
that was coming.
Yeah.
So you can get back to that spot because at Ohio State, like it's every year. It's what have you done for me lately? But I don't think he's in that place right now. Yeah, I think that winning a national championship and just what they did even last year gets them to a place where he's as comfortable as Ryan Day can be.
Let me ask you something, because they're an interesting team. It's because they're consistent, and Champaign is weird. I'm not sure what the expectations are in Illinois, and Bielema just appears to, he's just there, right? He has this to me. You don't really question him. He has command at the podium. He has control of his program. I don't know what the expectation level is for the fan base. How interesting for a team that we almost always forget about, but is always has the ability. How interesting is Illinois?
I agree with you that it's a team that's easy to forget about, because while Illinois can be very good, it's not a team that's pushed it's not reached the heights of Indiana, even before Indiana's like rise all the way to the top last year. What we saw from Indiana the year before, Illinois has been maybe not all that far away from having a season like that, but it hasn't come together. And there's just so many opportunities in the Big Ten, even with a big personality like Brett Bielema. There's just so many opportunities in the Big Ten for the attention to be diverted in different directions that can, I think, cast a shadow over what's happening at Illinois, in part because it's stable with him. That they're going to be tough. It's going to be a difficult game. They're going to do certain things well that Brett Bielema's teams do well. But I think also there's a belief that they're not going to rise up and win the Big Ten. Now he can change that narrative, and he could do it, and he could have a year like Indiana had in 2024, and then I think the conversation's completely different. But that's not what I think about Illinois right now. I think of them as a team that other than maybe the top 2 to 3 teams in the league, like they're not just a threat, like they very possibly are going to beat anybody on any given day. And that's it's a good place for Illinois to be in. It's hard for me to gauge like is Illinois content with that, or are they like, no, look, we saw what Indiana did, we want to be that next team. I think Cignetti has placed that burden on a lot of programs throughout the league, including Nebraska. And Illinois is most likely, if you're there on the ground in Illinois and you're just looking across the state line into Bloomington and going, you're probably saying, why can't that be us? I'm sure there's a faction of fans at Illinois, and I know there are at Iowa, at Nebraska, at Wisconsin, at Penn State, which hasn't done that, to be able to say, if they can do it, why can't we?
So they're always the team, and by them I mean Illinois, where it's like you look at them on the schedule and it's like, oh gosh, that's going to be a problem. But it doesn't really seem like there's pressure for Illinois to win it. It's always more pressure if you're the team
to not lose to
Illinois. But they're a better program than that. I'm trying to figure out how Illinois got there. Like I think you used the word safe a little bit ago. Like
Day.
They're in a safe place, it seems, with terms of expectations, but nobody's ever chomping at the bit when they see them on the schedule.
Yeah, it's not like a sexy game, unless you're Northwestern, and Iowa definitely has some boiling blood when it comes to Illinois through the years. But otherwise, I mean, it's just another game. It's another tough Big Ten game. It's one of those. It's why the Big Ten is so difficult, because you have teams that don't jump off the schedule, but they're Illinois. And in the case of Nebraska, you've had a lot of failure against.
Or it's Rutgers and they got KJ Duff, and you're like, wait a minute, that's almost 1,100 yards received. Like,
Well, I put Illinois in a different category, like above them, at least, if you're looking at it from the lens of Nebraska, but in anybody, for anybody, it doesn't matter what team you are. Yeah. If you see those teams like that on your schedule, yeah, those aren't the ones that you're obsessing about in May, June, and July. But when the week of the game comes, all of a sudden, it's big time danger zone.
Sounds like Minnesota.
Yeah.
I feel like I can say this fairly confidently. I have a very good friend that's very close to the Illinois program. I think genuinely, like, if they lived in the 7-8 win range forever, nobody would complain about anything ever. Like, especially as long as basketball is good, 7 to 8 wins could keep Bielema in Champaign for the rest of his life.
That's fascinating. But they play. I believe that.
I legitimately don't think they'd ever move the goalpost. Like, I really don't.
Right. I mean, it's hard to say that they never would, but I do think that basketball is a part of it because of the history there, and the expectations are different for basketball than what they are for football. I was trying to think, as you said that, about like a comp somewhere else that Nebraska has encountered, and maybe at times through its history, like Missouri was kind of like that. That's probably the best one that I could come up with in the old Big 12. But there are programs like that. There are schools like that where maybe you don't have in the last 50 years, you don't have the kind of history. You don't have history of winning championships in football, and at some point, it just kind of becomes a part of your identity that, like, the expectations aren't the same as they are at at Penn State or Nebraska. Nebraska's still like that. Nebraska still has expectations. And maybe it's not expectations, but it's like hopes and dreams. And Illinois can hope and dream about it too. But I do believe that it's a different kind of, like, just baseline level expectation than what you find in Lincoln and around this state.
Mitch, when you're looking, have you taken kind of a deep dive nationally in terms of teams that you like in college football? Because I'll go topical if you.
No, probably not.
Okay, so,
but I can always talk about it. Yeah.
We'll just kind of do it in kind of rapid fire. In order of the two teams, maybe not in its totality.
Okay.
Notre Dame, Miami.
Notre Dame. And I say that because, again, like I am coming out of these meetings, and I did hear a lot about Notre Dame and last week and what the thought is there. But hey, Miami played for everything last year. Kind of nowhere to go but down. I mean, you could go one step up, but I don't know that's what I think Miami's going to do this year. No, I think it's going to be a really good season for Notre Dame, just from what I've heard within my community of writers.
Oklahoma or Alabama?
Oklahoma. Yeah, kind of some similar conversations or some similar reasons that I say that. But yeah, I think Alabama is poised to get knocked around a little bit this year. I think this is going to be a year where at some point during this season we're talking about Kalen DeBoer and
he was who I thought you might bring up if it's not Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, how they extended him last year, and and is that I think there might be some regret on that front. There will be some if Alabama loses 3 games, and I can definitely see that happening. Oklahoma, like, it's not that answer is not based on me believing that Oklahoma is poised for greatness, but the Sooners do have mature and coming back, and I think it can be a good year in Norman.
Texas or Georgia?
Well, they're both going to be really good. I probably would go Texas. I think this could be Texas's year. What has it been? Over 20 years since Texas ended up on top, 2005. If I'm pressed to make a pick right now, I don't know that there's anybody that I like better than them. So yeah, Georgia might be right there in the SEC championship game with Texas, and more often than not, when that has happened, Georgia's found a way. Like, Georgia has just been the tougher, stronger program than just about everybody in recent years, since Nick Saban has retired. But I could see this being Texas's year.
Indiana or Ohio State?
Probably lean Ohio State. Continuity at quarterback. I think they have the best player in college football. And I think Indiana at some point, like Indiana has been great. Indiana has been clutch, and Indiana has been maximizing its roster over the last 2 years more than any program in the country. I also think that there is a bit of good fortune that Indiana has benefited from in the way that the schedule set up the first year, and you make your own luck. I get it, but it's like there have been times where it's felt like nothing could go wrong for Indiana. Whether it was the late drive against Miami at the end of the season or against Penn State on the road, like they had to hit some small windows, and they did it. And credit to them for that. But I don't know that you can continue year after year after year like that in college football. The windows are larger for Ohio State. The margin for error is more significant for Ohio State. So all that put together, I'm picking the Buckeyes in that matchup.
Buckeyes or Ducks?
I probably lean Ohio State, but I don't know if that's based on what the rosters look like. I've heard smart people say that Oregon has the best team, the best roster in the Big Ten this year. But I think with Ohio State, I think they would need to be unseeded in that matchup before I'm going to lean Oregon.
Does anybody other than Texas Tech win the Big 12?
I'm going through the teams here in my head. I don't. On BYU could be really good. So yeah, I think somebody else could. And Texas Tech has had a tough offseason. Does that become a factor? Is it something where we're looking back at the end of the year and going, they didn't get past that Sorsby thing. It was just too much for Texas Tech to handle. I mean, they'll be good, and they're going to be near the top of the league for sure, just because of their talent. And they're going to do the things that Texas Tech did well last year. It wasn't about the quarterback last year for Texas Tech. It was about just the overwhelming dominance that Texas Tech had on the defensive side. And I'm sure that Joey McGuire is aiming to build that roster in the same way this year. Can they do it again? We'll see. But I do think that BYU is positioned to make a run.
I'm surprised, and maybe just because I have a little PTSD, because it was very successful 94 to 95. It was very different and probably more similar to 95 to 96 because there was such a big change at the quarterback spot, which will be the same way for Texas Tech. But I am very surprised that people are very much plug and play when it comes to repeating something when you've had a difficult offseason. It's not as easy as, they have the same guys back, because you're introducing, listen, that running back room is fantastic. There's 3 good running backs, but now you have to manage the expectations of them coming off of last year and them wanting to do more. The defense has to repeat or exceed what it did a year ago. The offense is replacing a quarterback. You have a very tumultuous offseason. Like, you have to be built a certain way, in my opinion, to be able to handle expectations, in essence, running it back. It's not as linear as we talk about at all.
I wonder if players today and if rosters today are more immune to that kind of a thing, are more likely to be able to overcome a difficult offseason because of the way that rosters are built today, and because there's so much reliance on the portal. In the years that you're comparing it to, transfers, and I get it, there was if you go 95, 96, there was a huge player at the most important position on the field who came via the transfer wire.
Yeah.
Didn't have the portal, but he got transferred into Nebraska and took over the program in 1996, took over the quarterback spot. But I I think that the tough off seasons and like away from the field controversy and disruptions can be more of a problem for a team that's been together for 3 or 4 years and has been building from within than what you might encounter in today's world, where 30% of the team, 40% of the starters, whatever it might be.
So being less
haven't
connected
even been there.
would be an advantage.
In that,
I think it could be just because they're not bothered by things. Like they're mercenaries and free agents, and they're just coming in and I got a job to do. Like it's why you don't see pro sports probably hurt as much by off-season developments, because they're professionals and the way that the team was constructed is different than all of them coming together in a couple. The key players on Nebraska's mid-90s teams came in a couple of hauls through the recruiting class, and they developed very tight bonds as a result of that. And as one went, a lot of times their teammates and friends went. And I don't think you have that as much in today's. You don't have it in pro sports, and I don't think you have it as much in today in college sports.
That is Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Great stuff, Mitch. As always, we appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Mitch.
Guys.
That is Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. That's an interesting point.
It is. The less connected we are, the better.
In that situation, I think it's a fair point.
And I'm only talking about this situation.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point that you're just more used to the
what's
lack
next?
of certainty.
Yeah.
Although I will say and we'll bring this up next because we'll have a little bit left after the break here. I wonder if that's still the case with Damon Williams in Washington.
I've said this for how long? That's the one reason why I can't cap Washington. As good as I think that offensive line could be, other stuff. Because I said this without knowing
what TK sent us yesterday.
Well, yeah,
about the $2 million
last week. Yeah.
Also, I do think maybe Washington, like Texas Tech, is the mercenary program, right? I think Washington maybe is a little bit more connected than Texas Tech
and
has.
I think
been.
this is an important year for Fish.
I think so too. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back to wrap the show after this. If losing weight is harder than you expected, it's not just about willpower. At Next Gen Male Medical Clinic, we build a supervised plan around your body, not someone else's. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com. Let's get you moving forward.
I think right now it's just a super competitive gym. And as Coach Nate always likes to say, 3 teams, which we have right now, 15 guys become 2, and then eventually 2 teams will become a 5-team unit that's on the court. And so right now it's competitive, and everybody's fighting for those spots. But then as we kind of start to narrow things down, we'll have to buy into the roles, whatever that is, from 1 to 15. Like, that's super important. I think that's what allowed us to be successful last year. Coach talks about Kendall and Jared all the time, but just the way that they bought in and continue to lead, maybe from a role that they weren't necessarily thrilled with, but they helped our team win big games.
And that was beautiful. Seeing that, it really at first when I committed, people around Little Rock, Arkansas were like, Nebraska, really? That's an interesting pick. But when they saw how successful they were and saw the energy around Nebraska, they really bought in and were like, okay, I see what you were doing there. I see what the plan is. And a lot of them bought. A lot of them going to be tuning in for this year.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Reminding you to give our friends over at Next Gen Male Medical call 402-614-9700. That reminds me, I gotta get a refill going.
What do you need?
Oh, I gotta get my terzepatide back refilled. I gotta get my tesamorelin refilled as well. And I'm sure they'll have it for
I get
me.
my test 2 weeks at a time. They draw it out for me.
Oh, do they? They give you the little pre-drawn needles for you? That's adorable. So they can help people no matter.
My Penta too. I draw my own Sermorelin though.
Oh, good for you. I'm proud of you.
I didn't used to. I got off 1 week, and then all of a sudden they're like, "You're an idiot."
They're like, "You could do it. You could do it all by yourself." But the tesamorelin, they're like, "Nah." So they'll help you out, even if you're not.
I did have to mix my own water.
Oh, see, I usually make them do that. I've done it before, but they'll ask me, and I'm like, "Can you do it for me?" They're like,
So
yeah.
I watched her.
Yeah.
I totally watched Michelle because you're not supposed to. I don't know what it is about shaking it, but she's like, "We like to do it like this."
Yeah, you roll it.
And I was like, "Ooh, roll it,
rolling. No, they take great care of it, even if you need a little extra help, like DB. Or,
Could I drink that antibacterial water?
I wouldn't.
It's clean though, right?
It is. I don't. Well, I just wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's not very. It's a baby hole. It's not very drink friendly.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't really know what's going on there. You could I guess pull some like
a tab.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure how that goes, but they can help you out no matter what you need in terms of medication or a little extra help, like DB need to pull the syringes for him as well.
It's not they volunteered. I didn't ask.
They are great to work with, and we love having them as part of the show. 402-614-9700. No, Funky, they do have some tablet and pill forms of these as well. So if you're not big on needles, then not all of them are available, but some of them are available in pill
and they're
forms.
baby needles too.
Yeah, no, they're little tiny. I mean, I think the tesamorelin are like 31 gauge needles, which you could barely even see.
I don't even know what that means. I just say baby needles, bigger needles.
So the higher the gauge, the smaller the needle.
Oh, okay.
So a 31. This, for example, so when I first started taking injections for diabetes when I was a kid, I think I was at a 26 or a 27, which is
that's a fatty, right?
It's a pretty decent size.
That's what you would
needle.
draw motor oil out with, right?
It's not. It wasn't awesome. It was. I was not having a Baja Blast.
I am not on roids.
The 31.
I prefer peptides.
31 is I can't even feel the 31 when I do the stick. It is like you said. A baby needle.
I think the biggest needle I take is the Hercules.
Yeah.
Because I look at her sideways. I'm like,
well, if you do test, the test is a pretty big needle because that has to go intermuscular instead of subcutaneous. So the test needle is a pretty good size, and the test is a pretty thick substance too. So it's got to be a pretty good size needle.
Hercules.
I
wish I was. I don't know. I don't really wish. I don't know what if I was going to get on roids.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would. I want to look leaner, not more muscle bound.
You should ask Yannick Sinner. He seems to have a pretty lean build, and
You're still mad at that guy.
Yeah, forever, because he's still on roids. You know what? You know what's so funny? You know what time that match ended? The gameplay match?
3:49, 3:54.
It was like 3:47 on the dot. That is
so he
the
has
number.
a match. I thought it was 49. That's why I said it. Is it 3:47?
It's 47 on the dot.
I was surprised Mac and those guys went in on him in the pre-show.
Mac doesn't pull out punches.
Yeah.
Listen,
he basically said, can you get him to wilt? The heat may be an issue as the match wears on.
What do you mean?
Said wilt, though. As an athlete, that would give me, I'd be like, what?
It's appropriate with the weather. I mean, wilting is what it does. Like if Zverev had been able to break back on that last game, I would have put a large bet on Zverev to win. Because he would have got him over 4.
Grabbing live tennis lines?
Yeah, he would have got him over 4 hours.
I wish you liked the UFC more because you would have been so mad over McGregor.
I mean, I saw what happened. You think he was injured before? Because that's the conspiracy.
No.
You think he was okay? You saw the shoe. You're okay.
I watched. They kept telling me, "Oh, watch right here, the plant." And I was like,
I thought the shoe thing was overblown. Like I was taking the shoes off.
The lead kit. I was like, they're like, no, right here, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. But that wasn't the kicker.
Yeah,
the kicker was how he was falling down. He was like very bad acting. Watch it again.
Okay.
He's almost like they're not slips. It's almost like he was throwing himself down on the ground. They were like fake falls.
Okay, I'll go back and watch it. I didn't pick
your boy 100 times.
I didn't pick that up real time.
100 times. You know, I'm like,
I didn't pick that up real time.
I'm like, no.
I'll go back.
They just weren't natural. Like,
so what do you think it was? Like what?
Oh no. I don't know, but he got a lot of help from Max by like saying, hey, this guy can't go.
Yeah.
This guy can't go. He's like, I don't want to keep.
Yeah, I'm not trying to kill somebody here.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's what you're.
But he's just like.
If you have a guy that can't defend himself, like that's the weird position you're put in.
I mean, they did the overlays of him being in the, in his training room. And he was, not only was he throwing leg kicks, he was using the alleged bad leg.
Yeah.
But I also think, like coming off a leg injury, I would have rather had. It'd probably be harder for me than my plant leg than my strike leg. If I was coming off a break.
Yeah. Yeah, because the plant leg, you get all the force. I mean, you get a lot of force obviously on the kick leg, but like you've got a lot of pressure on the plant leg.
It just seemed like he was throwing himself. I'm like, what is he? And as real time, I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah. I mean,
because I'm all in. And it's dark, so the TV was like crisp.
Has been a long time since that guy has fought.
I mean, it's 5 years. And I mean, nobody believed in him.
I mean, the public did. All the money was on him. The public money was all on Conor.
I saw it came down like $20, which is a lot in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think I saw like 90% of the public money was on McGregor.
Why so extreme, Kobe? I got to be delusional. Like I don't know, man. Like
I don't know.
It didn't look horrible. I wasn't like, ooh, that's where he did his ACL. Like, and is it really going to be an ACL?
Yeah, that didn't look like. I mean, not saying it wasn't, but like that didn't look how typical an ACL tear goes.
Yeah, and I get the non-contacts. I mean,
no, but that's usually not how. Like that's usually not the version of non-contact it looks like.
But I don't know. But hey, listen, BLT. I was ominous foreshadowing when he took his T-shirt off, and I tweeted real time. I'm like, this is as shredded as I've ever seen Patty.
Yeah,
and he's notorious for. He'll say in the post, "Oh, I'll go have a couple cheeseburgers," and they're like, "Oh, don't you, enjoy your figure?" No,
yeah, he's not.
He goes, "I'd rather enjoy good food than having a 6-pack." He looked like a menace.
Meniscus might make more sense to me than ACL.
I could see a meniscus.
Meniscus makes more sense.
I could.
It also would have.
I'm listening on a meniscus because I'm also telling you not that I'm a knee injury expert.
Yeah,
but when you do your ACL, it's not that hurts. It's when it's the pain from tearing. If you tear your meniscus,
yes,
that's where it hurts.
Like usually an ACL,
the ACL is like the stabilization, like the right of way, but the pain comes from the meniscus. But he didn't look like it hurt. He looked like it was just giving out,
which would lean ACL. right? Like ACLs, usually there's an instant like hurt, and then the pain goes away pretty fast. If
it's just like
the ACL.
you can't. It just
but you
doesn't
can't stabilize. Yeah. So that part
I didn't see the grimaces.
Yeah, that part would make sense on an ACL.
The overreacting on the cage,
but the actual place where they said that he did it looks like a meniscus more than an ACL, but the aftermath looked more like an ACL than a meniscus. So I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It was a strange. But I'm not a McGregor guy anyway, so I don't care.
Yeah, and I tried to take the fact that I don't like him out of it too.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm not a fan, so it's hard for me to. It's like, oh no, you got hurt and lost. I don't like.
I wonder if you got that purse had to be guaranteed. He's probably not doing it without it.
Well, that was the big conspiracy about whether he was hurt before or not. Not that, I mean, I don't know or care really. But
I don't. Who am I?
But that was the thought.
He wasn't giving me "I'm hurt before" vibes.
I didn't think. I mean, people were trying like, oh, look at him take off his shoes. I was like, I don't know. It looks like he like that didn't. None of the evidence that he was hurt beforehand really moved the needle for me. I didn't. Got nothing.
Rico, are you a UFC guy? No. There's not.
I don't mind it in general. I don't like McGregor, so that wasn't going to be something I cared about. But there's some fights that I'll tune in for. I'm much more of a boxing guy than a UFC guy, though.
If you're kind of on the fence about UFC or mixed martial arts, that did not help you.
It's never been for me. I just don't.
I know. Well, you don't like violence.
I like boxing.
I mean, like violence.
No, I don't have the serial. I don't have the serial killer tendencies that you do. But
what do you mean?
Exactly.
I like the movie Warrior a lot.
I don't even know if I've seen that.
Oh, you would like it. It's got Tom Hardy in it.
Oh, I do like Tom Hardy.
And it's an MMA movie. You would love it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's from like 20 years ago.
It's from like early 2010s.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
that's not 20 years ago, Shane.
That's 16 years ago. I was just giving him a time frame that it was from, a little while ago. Jesus, man.
It's not 20 years ago, Shane.
Jose.
Is not 20 years ago.
He said Jesus, man. So this goes.
I think it's 2011.
This goes all the way back to.
Yeah, it's 2011. That's 15 years, Shane.
That's not terrible.
Because AI is always right.
No, just the actual.
You two are cute.
Places where the movie was produced by say it's. That's okay.
It's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
He gets the Iowa education, 15, 20. They're the same. I don't know. It happens.
Going back to him driving in the left lane now.
I think Shane might put Ravi in a patty hold here soon.
DJ says the undercard was good. Did you enjoy the undercard?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
That's good.
It was a good night. I thought. I thought it was a good night. I was very, 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 very impressed with Pimlet. I wanted to see Stevenson.
What was the other Gable? Was the one that B. Edwards was talking about?
McKinney and Green was insane.
Yeah.
Oh, just to see two brothers they were going after it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Good card.
Yeah. It was a good card.
Let's put a pin in the Damon Williams thing because I do want to talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, hard team to cap.
I think they're fascinating. I think the Damon Williams part of this is interesting. I think there's more of a Jed Fish part of this too as well than we've maybe talked about so far this year. So we're going to get into that tomorrow with Damon Williams and some of the other quarterbacks that I think there's more questions at quarterback spots than I don't know if more questions than answers, but more questions than much like last year, we make assumptions about things that I feel like there's less of a track record on than we should be comfortable with.
Yeah. I like to see you really become passionate about show me before we get hype.
I mean, just a little bit. Like, I'm okay with the Arch Manning hype this year because we actually saw something. Now, I'm still not on the train of like, hey, number 1 overall pick with a bullet next year. But I was like, at least now we've seen some starts and we've seen him overcome some things and figure it out, as opposed to last year where I was like, hey, he's got one start. Cool. Like, right?
Yeah, because I agree. Like, if you ask me like today, I like Sand a lot less than a lot of people.
Yeah, people are obsessed with Sand. And I'm like, he could be pretty good. He could be now his roster is going to help a lot.
Yeah.
That's the biggest advantage of Julian Sand is that roster is going to help a lot.
Get to throw to a legend and a Smith and
I mean, you're going to have good offensive line. You're going to have really good defense to work with.
That's going to be the key, in my opinion. I understand a good offensive line could buy that defense some time
to figure it out.
Their sea legs.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to have advantages at Ohio State.
Because they're going to have to be able to get some stops when it counts, because that's ultimately been the difference for them.
Arch, for me, this year is in the same place that we talked about with Lenore Sellers last year. Came off a really good finish to his season, and now we see if he can sustain that for an entire year. Sellers couldn't. We'll see if Arch Manning can. We'll see if a change of scenery helped DJ Lagway out or at all learn how to throw a football. We'll see.
Or can we wash, rinse, and repeat like your boy Chambliss?
Can you sustain when people believe?
I got one for you.
What's it? Who's that?
And I told you when I watched him throw live how it just came out of his hands.
Who's that?
Io Maliava.
Oh, yeah. That's a guy. He was actually on the other side of it last year where people weren't assuming as much out of him. And I was like, he's got a better track record than Austin Simmons. Yeah. What are we talking about?
Kind of had left Nico for dead.
Yeah. And listen, I didn't love the way things played out, but I ended up actually defending him because he's actually played well. It may not have looked like we wanted it to.
It's a big, strong kid, boy.
And he can move.
Yeah.
He can move. We'll see what that looks like. We'll get into quarterbacks more tomorrow as college football. It's closer than you think, ladies and gents. Closer than you think.
I hope so.
We're right around the corner.
57 days, 57 days maybe?
Something like that. I can't count that high.
Chad Kelsey?
I'm like...
you saw him yesterday.
I actually saw him too over the weekend. I was watching... It was Nebraska Day on BTN.
Oh, yeah.
So I watched 01 Notre Dame.
And they played the Oklahoma game too.
And Oklahoma, yeah. And because I got to see the old...
Yeah, those uniforms were...
Black 41 flash reverse.
Just the...
I just had to see my Miller North guy, Eric Crouch.
And then pull away from Lehman?
That was the best part is
the acceleration.
He catches it and you're like, oh, that's a really big gain. Maybe he can make it to the end zone. Oh, he's gone.
Because he had to slow down and the guy's running full speed at him and then he just hit the X button.
He's like, I'm faster than you. Bye. People forget state champ in the 100 meters in high school at Miller North.
How'd that go?
Bye.
I just wanted to hear you do that again.
State champion, Miller North. 100 meters.
All right, man.
I'm Mustang for life. They named the street after him.
I see it. I see it. I've been on Eric Crouch way.
That's the show for today. We will be back tomorrow with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
Is that the cue for the music?
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you want there, Shane. You just live your best life.
I'm living your life.
Left lane, baby.
God, I hope not.
You sound like Carol.
Carol, the guy?
Saying you poop your pants?
Yeah, you don't want to come in here.
Rico is struggling. His eyes are watering. Rico's running.
Why not?
What's on the ceiling, Rico?
Actually, I haven't done that for 20 years.
So 2011? Wow. We'll be back tomorrow with Hurrdat Sports Live.